Right, okay. So we've decided to continue reviewing all the Batman episodes, and then we get to this kind of irregularity. Bit confusing, and even having watched every single episode now, we are not quite sure what to label this as because the new Batman Adventures. I'm really trying to nail that word order there. The new Batman Adventures it's by some measures it's like season 4 of the show, or 3, depending how you want to go by it. This shit is confusing. It's very, very confusing and inconsistent. But in some interpretations, this is season 4 of the show, assuming that the last one was divided into 3. But anyway, this is interesting because by all metrics, this is another season, but it is not the same show, like at all. No. So I kind of wrote this kind of I kind of wrote a spiel here in a little document just to, I don't know, it was just in my head, and I think at the time we'd only watched about 3 or 4 episodes, so this is kind of a good spiel to give for when we were starting this. So the new Batman Adventures, or abbreviated as TNBA, is the follow-up to Batman the Animated Series. It lies in a weird limbo of being another season of Batman the Animated Series, but is also unquestionably its own thing. The new adventures of the new Batman Adventures uses the original non-Robin Batman the Animated Series intro, confusingly using the same shot of Batman wearing a different Batsuit to the one he wears in these episodes. Amazon, for example, lists the new Batman Adventures as Season 4 of the animated series, further complicating having a simple episode order for all of this. The animation style is completely different, being significantly simplified for animation purposes. While the animation isn't always perfect, it is at least more consistent. The entire cast of characters are all redesigned, with some being more drastically altered than others. This is most notable with the Rogues Gallery. There is a big emphasis on the Bat family, Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, the new Robin, Tim Drake, and Nightwing, Dick Grayson. All appear in episodes in almost random combinations. And having seen all the episodes now, that is definitely consistent. Mm-hmm. The tone has shifted towards being more kid-appealing, with more action and less insight, although the writing is still generally strong. Despite there being more of a cartoon, it seems to have probably less censorship than before. In just a few episodes we watched at the very start, mass killing and child murder were mentioned freely, and blood is a frequent sight. Unfortunately for us, the unique title cards are gone, and they have been replaced with very boring, generic text that just kind of appear over the opening shot of the episode.
It's just very typical.
So, yeah, that was just kind of... It's very ordinary.
Yeah, that's a good summation of what to expect going into the show, if all you know about it is that it's a follow-up to the animated series. I've been bouncing in my head for a long time on whether or not this should be included in the same sort of tier, or if this should be considered its own thing. I was pretty convinced because of the way that they use the old intro and credit sequence that they want to be considered part of the same show, and I think that is to the show's detriment. I think it is actively worse if you consider it like Season 4 of Batman the Animated Series. The problem is that it exists in the same continuity. Like, everything that was true about the animated series is still true, and they make actual references to episodes from the animated series. So this is a follow-up, but it also is trying to be different because it is a lot more action-oriented. You don't get any of the more, I don't want to say deep, but the darker, more meaningful episodes are all completely gone.
They also don't do those ones that are very kind of the sort of episodes I would have disliked as a kid. Like, there's...
Never Too Late.
Like the inside, Never Too Late, yeah. There's none of that shit in the new Batman Adventures.
It is.
Like, they just do away with all that kind of more experimental kind of
Yeah.
stuff. There's no paging the crime doctor, you know.
Yeah, it is.
It's interesting, because so everything's canon, although strangely, thankfully they don't acknowledge the character designs, because they are definitely not consistent. I mean, there's no... I guess this version of the Mad Hatter is consistently canon, although they don't explain why he lost several feet in height, but, you know... It's a sort of fluid reality they live in, I don't know. He's always short.
What are you talking
I refer to I use the birdie line of "oh what" before I was pale because I was sick. I've used that multiple times in our notes.
Yeah, it's... Oh man, we'll get to it. We have a lot to get to. I will just say that, like, as we were going through this, I was thinking to myself, like, you know, it wants to be part of the same show, and I feel like our opinions of the episodes as a whole would not change that much if we considered it its own thing, but I don't know. And then I got to, like, the second half of the episodes, and now I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck. Like...
It was a big conflict for us to try and decide whether or not we're considering it, if we were going to put it on the same tier list. And I think we ultimately decided to, if only because they're using the same damn intro. I don't know why they're using the same intro. It's totally completely different. And like I said, it doesn't even use the same Batman design. Granted, you see it for like a few frames, but still, it's just weird. Like, I don't know why it doesn't have its own intro. And the problem is, it's totally different. It's not the same show. It's not just. It doesn't just look different. It's very tonally different, and it's not. Well, okay, I would say it's ultimately worse, but it's different. It shouldn't. They're just kind of setting themselves up for. I would say not failure. That's a bit strong, but like they're not doing themselves any favors by just really inviting the comparison with the original run of the show. Because it's not the same. They may be canon, but tonally, no. It's not the same show.
It makes me wonder, like, did it not go over well back then? Is there a reason that they decided to change it tonally so much? Because
I'm wondering if this whole thing was led by Superman, the animated series, like they were doing a Superman show. So that, it's going to be cleaner. And they probably need the simplified animation for Superman flying around. Don't take this as gospel, I don't know, I'm making shit up, but Superman had way more episodes than the new Batman Adventures. So I'm thinking maybe it was just to match up with Superman, because they are they're sort of sibling cartoons.
Yeah,
and
either way,
they knew they were doing Superman. I think that may have just been to match up with Superman. I'm guessing.
That would make sense, because they crossed over 6 times. Well, including one 3-parter as 3 different episodes, but still.
Yeah, that's still it's going by run time. And that's
yeah.
That is 6 episodes.
Yeah. Well, should we just get into it then?
Yeah, sure.
Which, you would think that the first episode would be a good way to introduce us to this new format, but, they went with a weird idea for this one.
Yeah.
The first episode is called Holiday Nights. It is a Christmas theme episode.
Yeah.
And it is also 3 unrelated stories. Just for some reason. I might need to, like, exclude the summaries or, like, put them at the end or something. I'm gonna do something with the notes, because the synopses that the new Batman Adventures got on that Wikipedia page just kind of spell everything out. So, like, from the very beginning, it just
I noticed that some of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of these, actually, but that's fine. I mean, I'm not too afraid of spoilers. We're going to talk about things quite openly. I don't really think it matters that much. And I guess we might be, like, structuring this a bit differently with in regards to, obviously I'm saying this pre-video editing. I imagine we're probably going to get more emphasis on the images this time, because we've got more of them, and we kind of have to as well, just by necessity, because we're going to acknowledge the new art style a lot. you know,
Yeah.
and their new design. So I think it's probably going to be, as you're looking at this, it'll probably be a nice thing of the images. Anyway, so as a start off, so this is 3 segments, right?
Yeah, this one, the very first thing that we see is Harley and Ivy, who are hanging out again, and that's going to be just kind of at the whims of whoever's writing the episode is what Harley's doing, because, oh boy,
Is
there's a
she
lot
with
of her.
Joker or not?
Not today.
No.
The spoilers, Joker is in this episode, but he has nothing to do with her in this one. Very, very strange. But
Yeah, they're just it's a dice roll if they're going to be together or not.
so this one is of this vignette is about Harley and Ivy, and they're upset because they got no money, and they're like,
I've got a
"Fuck."
question.
What's that?
You know, there was an episode called Harley and Ivy. Is that a play on like the Holly and the Ivy?
I wouldn't know.
Like the Holly and the Ivy, because that's like a Christmas thing. They could have called this that if it wasn't just one vignette. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of Christmassy, that the Harley and the Ivy. But anyway,
Oops, I already used that one. Sorry.
yeah.
But yeah, they're just like, shit, we're poor. Let's go get a rich guy and like fuck with him. So, cause
Yeah.
Ivy has her like hypnosis, poison, whatever thing
Pheromones.
going. Yeah, yeah, she could control people. So
Well, that's the only thing she could do in Batman and Robin. So
yeah,
nice to see it here.
they finally implemented that feature. I don't know if you want to get into the redesigns now, like as the characters come up, but
Well, yeah, that's probably what we'll have to do. So Harley, I wrote here, is like she is notable for being the least notable of all the villains. She looks the most same, and I kind of theorize that's because, well, maybe not because of, but if you think about it, she was made for Batman the Animated Series. Like she wasn't from the comics. Like she was made with animation in mind. So when it came to like, oh, we need to make it more animation friendly, or in that regard, so that he was probably like, well, there's not much to change, and also like Paul Dini's on the staff, and he probably doesn't want them to mess with this design. So Harley Quinn just kind of looks the same, just a bit cleaner. So yeah, probably the least change in this whole show. Ivy, on the other hand, what happened? So what do we think happened to her? Like she's just becoming more with the plants because she is pale. Her skin has changed color.
but
The costumes change as well, but that is less notable than the fucking skin changing.
the costume just became way more basic, which again is to make it easier to draw, I imagine. But yeah, she just, I don't know. There's just something about this look that is distinctly just blech.
She's also like her face has been simplified, and that's kind of a problem with this entire show. All the women kind of look the same.
Yes.
Like they
yes,
just
they
kind of
do.
look like they just copied and pasted the same face, like different eye color, different hair, maybe like a lipstick color, and that's it. Because there were so many times where her female character showed, we were like, "Who is this? Like, why they putting Veronica Vreeland in Arkham?" It's like, "Oh no, that's Poison Ivy," or things like that. So yeah, that's just
Yeah.
kind of an ongoing thing. But a lot of these designs, I think we're gonna do this. I'm at least plan to do a kind of a mini tier list at the very end of this. Just if a character redesign is the same, better, much better, worse, or much worse. But I don't think we can like do these reviews without like sort of acknowledging that now. I can't like just keep my opinions to myself while we're doing all these episodes. Like, what do you think of Joker? I'm not saying anything. But, so Harley, there's nothing to say there. I mean, I suppose that's just, that you could say something in that, like, or maybe they should have changed it. But she's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these definitely needed to be changed from the animated series. Poison Ivy, I don't know, she looks too inhuman now. Just weird.
I guess, yeah. Ivy's implementation of this show is stranger the more it goes on. because, like, I think you noted it much later, but Ivy teaming up with other people is very weird when you think about the fact that
Yeah.
she hates humanity. She's just like, plants are superior,
Yeah.
I hate humans, and then I'm gonna team up with Harley, and we're just gonna chill
Yeah.
out together. It's like, alright, sure.
I'm glad we've got the perspective of having watched every episode now, because we were originally going to watch like 10 or something, and then we just kind of went, oh, let's just watch it more. So, but I'm glad we've got like the hindsight of every episode now.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that kind of helps us review these. But yeah, just I don't know. I don't even think like I don't know why it'd be grey specifically. That's not very. Like, I don't want to green, but that would be too much. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like she stole Killer Croc's original color. I don't know.
So, another spoiler, this is not the last time we see a character who just becomes pale as their redesign, and I don't know why that was... I just don't know what they were thinking with that. Like...
Maybe it's the same issue that's causing whatever's making Gotham Sky bright red in this show. Like maybe maybe that's blocking the sun, maybe people are getting less vitamin D or something, and they're just getting pale. I don't know. I mean, Poison Ivy would definitely feel the effects of that, you know? Less sunlight.
Yeah,
plants.
yeah. That's, yeah.
So it is photosynthesize.
So,
yeah, this is, some people refer to this season, whatever we want to call it. We really got to come up with a term we're going to be consistent with, but this, they call it the Red Sky era.
Right.
Because the sky is always red.
Which is strange? I don't know. It's like it's supposed to be more lighthearted, but then everything looks evil or something. I don't know.
Maybe it's just to differentiate it from Metropolis.
Oh, maybe. I wouldn't doubt it.
Because I don't think Metropolis at night goes red. It's like the pollution in Gotham or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So the episode.
Yes. What's happening?
I don't know. Harley ends up at some like gala or some rich people hanging out. One of them parties. And then they do the mistletoe thing, and then she kisses Bruce, and then Bruce just becomes under her spell, and then there's just a big montage of those two.
It's Ivy who kisses him, right?
Yeah, Ivy kisses
Harley.
him. No, yeah, it's Ivy.
Yeah.
Ivy does the.
Just the way you yeah, it's just the way you phrased it. Yeah.
Well, it's also because I think Veronica's there, and she looks exactly like Ivy in disguise, I guess. So I don't know. It was a confusing
you can't see specifically. She's like in shadow. You can't see exactly who it is. So.
Yeah. But yeah, like he basically just starts following them around and just doing whatever they want. And mostly just it's a big montage of them just going to malls and buying shit and just having.
It's quite cool. One thing I do like is that he is trying to visibly fight it. Like he's not just like, oh yes, I'll do it.
Yeah.
He knows he is conscious of what's happening. And he's trying to fight it. So I kind of like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And then there's like, what happens? They're like near an elevator shaft or something, and he works up enough. It starts to weaken, and Ivy's just like, oh, we've got to dose him up again. And Harley's about to kiss him. He's like, pucker up, and he works up just enough willpower to will himself to basically throw himself into an open lift shaft, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And that's how he gets away. And they're just like, oh, he's dead. Oh well, let's carry on with our day. And obviously, Bruce not die. So, yeah, that's how he breaks out of it, and then they go off to do some stupid shit in like a toy shop.
Yeah, night.
I might be getting confused.
Yeah, no, it was some sort of shop or mall or something at night, because then they'd have a big fight scene in the dark. But I just remember it wasn't all that notable, other than just that they have the upper hand for a bit. Just to, make it more interesting, I guess. But then you stop and think, like, why does Batman have so much trouble with Harley and Ivy, who are like?
That's why he was avoiding them for so long when they had their crimes, where he would refuse to fight them. And then the other time in trial, they just immediately took him down, like they are completely overpowered.
Yeah, it's I don't know, very very strange. And then they get like crushed by a Christmas tree, And then Harley is... Oh, yeah, because that was like a running gag. It was like, Harley's like, I want a Christmas tree. And Ivy's like, no! You can't do
No
that. That's
trees.
trees.
You can't,
And that's...
I love the trees.
I'm the tree person. I love trees. And so that's vignette number 1. Number 2 is Batgirl is at a mall.
Bullock is in disguise as Santa Claus.
Yeah, Bullock's doing the mall Santa thing, and then Montoya's there as an elf. And it's a lot of what I remember this episode is a lot of just gags with him, like he's like, you know, he's got a kid on his knee, and he's like, oh, what do you want for Christmas? And the kid's like, I want my dad back. He's in jail. And Bullock realizes that he put the kid's father in jail, and he's like, just doing this whole bit, and it was pretty extended.
Yeah.
And of course, he's being just a big idiot and upsetting kids. Meanwhile, I don't know, Batgirl sees a child like steals something.
There were several there was like several children running around doing like pickpocketing and things like that.
Yeah,
like leprechauns. Obviously, the sewer king's back in town.
Oh my god! So then, they start like all these kids start getting chased around. Like I think the cops there chase them. Batgirl chases one of them, and then somebody grabs like one of their arms, and then the arm like dissolves. And we're like, is that Clayface? Like, what the hell is that about? And then the kids all merge together and then form into Clayface. Because apparently now he is able to create multiple sentient versions of himself.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, thankfully that would only ever appear in this one part of a bigger episode, because that would just be weird. Imagine making a whole episode based on that ability he has. That would be weird. Thankfully, it's just a throwaway thing. Oh my god.
So there's...
So we thought. Like, that's a weird power. Like, that doesn't make lick of sense, but alright. You can do that now.
Yeah, that's just what he's doing. He's also, Clayface was, in his original episodes, he was dealing with what happened to him, trying to get revenge on the guy who did it to him, and then trying to solve this, like, dilemma where he's, like, breaking apart. In this one, he's just a thief. He's just stealing things.
Yeah, we don't know what he's doing. Yeah, he's just... I mean, I suppose you're like, he's stealing to find a cure or something, but he doesn't say that. He's just stealing shit. I don't know.
There's no reason given. He's just stealing things, and then...
And it's on Christmas, no less. The monster.
I just remember Barbara, does the Batgirl thing, and then Bullock and Barbara fight Clayface out in the courtyard or something, and then I don't know.
Barbara's like, shoot the thing that's hanging. I can't even remember what it was, and it falls on him, and he falls into the ice. Something like that.
I don't remember. I just remember he gets defeated by them, and it's just kind of like, it just kind of felt like, oh, that's over. All right.
Also, like, and this kind of introduces Batgirl, who's now, well, we don't know too much, but we don't know too much at this point. But as far as we can tell, she's just operating as Batgirl. It was kind of a rare thing in the last series, but here she's just being a vigilante. So,
which is funny. The show ended on an episode about her just returning. Literally, Batgirl returns, but so I guess that stuck around. So,
is Montoya wearing pants in that shot?
I was noticing that. That is certainly a drawing.
That is not a color to use. Do not use skin color there.
I think it's just poorly drawn, because... Anyway.
Yeah, no, no, she's... I'm going to go on a limb here and say this episode of a children's cartoon, she's probably wearing pants. I think that is just an animation blub.
I mean, considering the way other characters are dressed, I'm not sure. But, the third episode, their third part, and I should mention that all of these are dated, it appears. We have... 22nd, and then Christmas Eve, and then this one is New Year's Eve. So
Yeah.
it covers the whole holiday spectrum there. This is the Joker part. Joker has a thing that's like it's a big, it's like the, what do you call it? Like when the New Year hits, there's like a big bell that goes off, and the bell is going to,
Sure.
it's like hooked up to some shit that will rupture everyone's ears and kill them or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then something with like
We don't
headsets.
have that tradition here in the UK. We don't rupture anyone's eardrums
Yeah,
on New
no,
Year's
it's,
Eve.
you know, that thing that we do over in America where we just kill
Yeah,
everybody.
definitely everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Drinking petrol on birthday.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's not gonna make a fucking lick of
No.
sense. Let's move on.
Anyway, so, I don't know. Let's talk about
Joker.
Joker's design.
I may have like, yeah. I mean, I mentioned this probably a bit too much in the movie and previous episode reviews. So, what do you think? I mean, I've kind of talked about it a bit too much.
I actually don't mind it as much, because to me, it's just like, okay, so the lipstick's gone. That doesn't bother me. I don't really care. But it is weird that it's so different. The eyes bother me. Why does he have, like, is it supposed to be like he has sunken in eyes or something? But it just makes him look like he's dead. It's just a strange decision. I don't understand.
I think I may have gone on a bit too much about it. That being said, though, I still hate this design. I really dislike it.
It is not
I
an
just don't
improvement.
know why they did it. No, it is a big downgrade. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just Joker's smile without lips, just weird to me. There's been like fan edits that have just kind of traced over and just added the lips, and it's so much better. And I don't know what's going on with the eyes either. Like he looks like some sort of demon.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
he's too simplified. Yeah, he looks too much like a cartoon or something. I don't know. He just doesn't. Everyone's simplified, but he's like too simple. And I feel like that he should have gotten like more attention because he is like the flagship villain character. So I feel like I'd probably be less annoyed if it was anyone else, but I don't know. I really dislike it. I got used to it watching these episodes back to back. But then when you go back to like the original series, it's like, oh god, that's so much better. And then when they did Batman Beyond, they just came up with a completely new design, which was cool. It was more animation friendly than the original design, but it kind of built on this in a lot of ways. They kind of combined them
Yeah,
and came up with kind of the ultimate Joker design, where he's got the lips back, but it's still kind of evocative of this. But yeah, no, I mean, I already mentioned it a lot. I really dislike this Joker design. Of course, I'm looking at this one image here, and he's not even he's dressed as a referee because he likes to show up for the first time in anything other than his traditional garb.
yeah.
Also, just going to quickly mention this shot here. They actually used this moment. I don't want to say this clip because it's not the same animation, but they use this kind of moment in the Batman Beyond movie where he's comparing voice samples, and because he's on TV here. You know, that's like, oh, we have a recording of Joker when he hijacked a television broadcast. So it's like a victim of a countdown of victims that will start at midnight tonight, and they use this little bit in the Batman Beyond movie, which I found interesting because I was way more familiar with that movie than I was this episode. I was like, oh, that's where it's from. That's when he
Yeah.
said that.
It's an interesting little callback there.
Hmm.
And then this is mainly just like, you know, you get introduced to Joker, but you also get introduced to Tim Drake, because we have a new Robin all of a sudden. Dick Grayson is nowhere to be seen. We have a much smaller kid here to
Yeah.
fill in. Don't know what I think about Tim Drake. I wasn't impressed with him at first, and then he kind of came into his own near the end. But he's just kind of like, well, Batman has a kid helping him out now.
It's kind of, again, this weird order of putting the Christmas episode first is very jarring.
It's very strange.
We were taking in a lot. There's a lot here. Even with the characters we already know, like they look different Clayface as a new power apparently, and yeah, the next episode is Tim Drake's origin,
Yeah,
which helps like introduce him a lot better. But then it's just very jarring just seeing him show up. Like, who the hell's this kid? It's not the best first impression either. He's not bad or anything, but like, who the hell is this?
I just realized there are 4 characters in the last part that we didn't describe their designs. I don't even...
We'll get another chance.
Yeah.
Well, what? Like... Bullock looks weird.
Bullock is... at some point I compared him to
I don't have a good shot of him, but...
Yeah. He's just way bulkier now. Just way rounder.
Yeah.
Clayface is, like, real simplified, but not in a way that's really that big a deal. It's just like, well, they're going for simpler design, so here he is. It's Clayface, but he's simpler. It's fine.
Yeah.
Montoya and Barbara, I couldn't even tell you what the difference is, other than just
No.
new style, so...
But we'll do, when we do that comparison thing, we'll put them side by side. It's mostly, for the Bat family, it's mostly, like, color changes, really.
Yeah.
Like, Batman doesn't have the yellow logo on his chest anymore. Barbara's not wearing grey anymore. She's actually in black. But we'll do that. So any characters we kind of forget to mention, we'll probably cover them all then anyway.
So, but as for the ending of this episode, I don't actually remember much about it.
Well, they foil the Joker, by the way.
Yeah, Joker doesn't get
something.
away at the end of it.
I did notice that he, once again, this Joker makes his debut in a Christmas episode.
Yeah.
I mean, technically it's the same character, but like, come on, it's not the same guy.
Yeah, Joker doesn't get away, and the Batmobile doesn't lose a wheel, and then
Yeah. And then Batman and Gordon meet up for a New Year's drink.
Yeah, there's a nice quick bit where Batman shows up at like a cafe, hangs out with Gordon, and then they have a quick little thing of just like, oh, they do this every year, and what a thing. I don't like Gordon's design. He
looks a bit odd.
He looks a little, I don't know, scrawny. I don't know the word for it. He looks like he doesn't get enough. He doesn't eat enough sandwiches. He's very veiny. It just, I don't know. He just looks off.
Oh, what? Before I was bigger because I wasn't on a diet. I don't know.
Very, very strange.
Yeah, he just looks slightly off. Yeah.
So,
he does look kind of weedy. You're all right though.
Yeah, I mean, of course, he sounds the same. Like most of these people have the same VAs, so.
Most of them, yeah. We'll get to the exceptions. I don't think we've come across any B castings yet.
Barbara.
Yeah, Barbara. Yeah, I was gonna say she
She's
changes voice quite a bit.
Yeah, she's apparently Terra Strong now. So.
Okay, great.
I didn't even notice, but which I guess is a good thing. But
I suppose that's her doing a job, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to notice. Alright.
But and then that ending was pretty nice. Other than that, this episode got a C from us.
It's like a novelty episode.
Yeah, it's weird. Like it was very strange to be introduced to the show and see 3 very quick vignettes. Like I don't know, it was a very odd experience. Yeah. And there was a lot of information they threw at us at once, and none of it particularly exciting.
But it's all fine as well.
Yeah, nothing terrible.
So going by it, we are going to put this on. So there's a modified tier list. I mean, the two-parters aren't split up anymore, but we're kind of just going with a medium. Also, we don't want this too busy, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even see there's part 2s from a distance. I am really eyeballing between Be a Clown and Fear of Victory.
Yeah, that looks fine.
Yeah, I feel like at that point, I mean, even though it's in C, there's Be a Clown was pretty good, but badly animated, and everything after that was just kind of fundamentally flawed, but still watchable, and I think Holiday Nights is just being a novelty episode, kind of belongs there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard to be mad about it.
Yeah, yeah. I get the feeling. Yeah. Uh, let's move on then.
Okay.
Sins of the Father, episode 2, season 4
Well, it can't be
slash
about
1. I
Batman.
don't know.
His parents are dead.
Indeed. You want to take the lead on
Well,
this
actually,
one?
although to be fair, oh boy, there is a filthy, disgusting street urchin being
Another
chased by a
leprechaun.
policeman. Yeah, another leprechaun 'cause he's wearing green. Another servant of the Sewer King. He's escaped. No, I need to stop being stupid because it's just going to get confusing. He is running away from a cop. He's trying to apprehend him. He's kind of like an oldish guy. You know, this isn't, too serious of a chase. He's just trying to get some punk kid. Now the punk kid produces a batarang which he collected at some point. And I think he runs up a fire escape and he uses that to escape. And then we get back to the kid's apartment. And it turns out he's quite a big fan of Batman and he's kind of been following him for a while. But we also learn he's living by himself. He was with his father. Something's happened to his father. And I believe Two-Face is trying to find out where his dad is. And oh boy,
Yeah, some goons show up at the apartment, and
yeah, hired goons.
yeah, and then he gets chased out. Yeah, we don't have a lot written down there other than just yeah, that he ends up.
Batman in Mad Basement Part 2.
Yeah, he ends up getting. They end up at a wharf basically. Two-Face is there, and he's just in like, hey, where is your dad at? And Tim's just like, I don't know. I ain't got no clue.
Yeah, and then he finds a note. He's saying, "Hey Tim, I'm dead. Sorry about that," or something like that. No, it's basically revealed that Tim's. He goes missing. I think it's not for a while. Actually, Batman is the one who learns that he's basically like MIA, whatever. He's just basically like they find a John Doe in the river later on, and Tim's there, and he's just like, "Oh, I know what that means. He's dead." So anyway, he's being interrogated by Two-Face, and then Batman saves him. Oh, actually, no, he starts saving him, and then what happens to Batman? He gets like knocked out or something.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of action.
Probably gas. I'm guessing. Probably
Yeah,
gas.
probably.
It's probably gas. If you can't remember plot, just say gas, and you'll probably be right. He gets like knocked unconscious, or he's partially unconscious, and he kind of crawls to the bat boat, which is nearby, and Tim basically helps him to escape from Two-Face in the bat boat. And well, much like the Sewer King episode, he actually ends up in the Batcave, where they don't have like the amnesia flashing strobe light to deal with his kid. So unfortunately, he sees the Batcave and he learns about Bruce Wayne and Alfred and everyone. And Batgirl's there because she's just there.
Yeah, she's just
We have not had that explained yet, and we've not have it explained for a while. But she is just part of the Bat family now, even though last we saw of her, nobody knew who she was, and she didn't know who Batman was. But everyone knows who everyone is now. Tim is basically kind of showing off a bunch, and it's like, oh yeah, you want to be the new Robin, kind of. I mean, he doesn't like audition for it, but yeah, he's very excited, and you just see he's showing off his skills, and Bruce is like, ooh, right, okay.
You see, he sees the
moves.
like the Dick Grayson Robin outfit, and he's just like, oh man, it's cool. Look, it's the Robin outfit. Wow. And they call back to that.
Yeah, they go back to his note, and I think there's like an imprint of a key from the lockers at Gotham Airport. So they
Oh yeah. So the note had a key in it, and that was the thing was like, what is this key for? And Tim's like, I have no idea. And so they get Batman to look at the note, and they see the key is in Two-Face's possession now, but they see imprint, and
like
Batman, Batman looks at it, and goes, that's from Gotham City Airport, and we're just like, okay.
I mean, to be fair, if it's like a common enough locker, you might recognize it.
I
It was
don't.
like a key type, not I'm sure he wasn't like matching up the indents. Go, oh yeah, this is locker 4B in terminal 6 or something. It's probably common enough. I don't mind that. I don't think it's that outlandish. Like, oh, these are the keys they use in the Gotham airport. Like, I'm fine with that. Anyway, so they go there, and Two-Face is like, he has the explosive from Die Hard 3, where there's like the two liquids, and when they mix, be somewhere else, which is where he kind of, well, it's kind of the perfect explosive for Two-Face. Bear in mind, Clock King didn't even bother to use a time bomb, like fucking amateur. And what happens? Yeah, he tells him to fuck off. He's like, "Oh, I want to help because he killed my father." It's why Robin's reckoning in more ways than one. And Batman's like, "Fuck off, kid. You're like 12 or something." It's like Dick was one thing, but like, I'm not taking an actual child. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. But then he goes anyway, and I'm a bit confused here. Like, where does he get the suit? But so Tim shows up anyway, dressed as Robin.
It's literally.
Where did he get the costume?
It's literally Dick Grayson's suit. That's how they explain it. Is that?
But he never wore red, and he's like twice the height.
That's. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
But he's
So yeah.
Wasn't yeah.
Yeah. Two-Face is in like a theater of something because like film has something to do with it. And then yeah, Batman goes there, and then he of course fails. So Tim Drake has to show up, dressed as Robin somehow, and
Red Robin. Oh no, that's an actual Batman character. Shit.
And then yeah, that he fights Two-Face, and Two-Face at one point gets a hold of him and is just like, "Hey, Robin, haven't seen you in a while." He doesn't acknowledge the fact that he is definitely another kid.
It's hard to tell if he really just kind of meant like, okay, oh, it's sort of jokingly, oh, it's a Robin, or if he like genuinely didn't notice. I've never seen him this close up. I thought he was just small. I don't know.
You're a lot smaller close up. But,
I guess it's kind of telling we have not acknowledged Two-Face's design because it's just fine.
It's fine. It kind of just looks the same, but of course, stylized for the show.
The suit's pretty slick. I like that.
Yeah. No, it's perfectly suitable.
Yeah.
And that's there's another action scene. There's gonna be a lot of just an action scene happens, and I can't describe it to you other than just there's some fighting, and it's not bad. It's just there's a lot more action in this show.
Yeah, we can talk about like the ending of Feet of Clay and stuff, like his inner turmoil and why he gets defeated. It's kind of hard to describe like 100 different variants of Batman fighting.
Yeah.
And his various allies who very much interchangeable going on from this episode onwards.
I didn't mention it here, but I guess I'll get ahead of it. There is a lot of gunfire in this show.
Oh yeah.
Like, we kept noticing just how much automatic gunfire is going on at any given time. It's kind of crazy. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, he's got a Tommy gun in this shot, so I'm sure that was happening in this one too. Yeah, he gets stopped by Tim Drake, and then it shows, the ending is, Bruce and Tim in, like, a ring, like, training, essentially. Like, they got, like, karate gis on, and they're just kind of fighting, and Bruce is being, hard. He's being hard on the kid, and the kid's just like, man, how did the old Robin put up with this shit? And then, who shows up but Dick Grayson?
The old woman.
Yeah, he shows up, and he gives a little quip, and it's like, hey, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is an episode of this show. I don't know.
God, I'm realizing now how hard it's going to be to talk about, like, because there's just so many of these episodes are just just blocks of action that we can't really, unless something particularly notable happens, we can't really describe. Like, it's fine, and if it's not fine, we'll mention it. But this show is just way more action oriented, you know.
Yeah, it is. It'll just make it easier to review, I guess.
I guess so. I just don't want to come across as lazy, but it's just like there's less to talk about.
Yeah, no,
I can't do anything about that. It's like, oh, so in this scene, like Batman throws a left hook that whiffs, and then takes one step forward and then throws a right, which lands. It's like, come on. Unless something like particularly notable happens, but yeah, there's none of the kind of. Well, we'll get to an episode where that really bothered me, but there aren't too many occasions where the villain's kind of talked out of it. There's not many speech check victories, and this show's fine, by the way. There's not like I'm not like going, oh, it sucks because of that. It's fine, but I'm just saying the might be a bit less articulate with some of these episode summaries.
It is also distinctly just less of what we kind of want, but we don't just say like, oh, this episode had too much action in it. It's like, nah, it's fine. It's just kind of alright.
You might also have to like scale back on just outline the plot beat for beat, because man, it is getting increasingly difficult. Not because like I can't remember them, but because there's just less notable things that happen between them. So we might have to rethink the specifically being very specific about the plot beats. We might just have to give more of an overarching opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this one was fine. This was pretty good.
This was
I liked him. He's alright.
Yeah.
He kind of borders on being annoying, but I don't think he's quite cross as that. He's alright. I quite like him. It's very easy to make a kid annoying.
No, I didn't find him obnoxious or anything. I just think he wasn't.
No.
He kind of didn't do a whole lot, it felt like, for a little bit. Again, he comes into his own a little bit, but he's just kind of there, honestly. It's the worst I could say about him.
Yeah, he's alright. Yeah, it was kind of, I guess it's like a mandated thing that he had to get on the show.
Yeah.
One thing I do like about him is that he's quite savvy, you know, like you say to him, oh, we found a John Doe in the river, and he's just like, yeah, I know what that means. He's not coming back.
Right,
Along those lines. So he's not like, oh, what does that mean? No. Yeah.
It is. There are some relatively dark things. Like, he does just kind of acknowledge, oh, well, he's dead. Like, my father's dead. That's what that means. And it's just like, yeah, a little harsh but true.
Yeah, but Bruce isn't like. Yeah, I'm starting to realize I quite like that. Like, Bruce doesn't sugarcoat it. It means he's dead. He doesn't like. No, he's just asleep. It's like Bruce just goes, yes.
He doesn't.
Like the kid.
He doesn't say it to the kid's face.
There.
He doesn't realize that Tim's listening, and then whenever Tim hears it, he's like, well, just kind of,
Yeah, Tim says that. Tim says that means he's not coming back, and then Bruce says to him, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So he doesn't like, the kid. It's quite like that. Like, Bruce doesn't sugarcoat it for him. He's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, kid. Yeah, he's not coming back. He is dead.
So where do we wrote? Yeah, we got more verbose with these because we're a little more unsure. Low B, high C. Kind of thinking near on leather wings. Here.
I think it squeaks into B.
Yeah.
If only because I know. Well, we'll get into it. I want to get more stuff in B. Let's say.
Yeah. That one's fine. It's
next episode.
Next episode.
Who's gonna?
Alrighty then. This is Cold Comfort, so you know what's coming up. That's right.
Riddler.
It's the Ice Riddler.
The Ice Riddler.
Yeah,
they redesigned him. He's now ice themed.
They redesigned him, and spoilers, we're not gonna fucking see much of him.
That makes the Riddler references all the funnier because it doesn't fit at all.
Which of these is the Riddler episode? Oh, it's none of them. Alright, so...
Oh, goddamn. Which one of these is the Riddler episode? This Superman episode. Kind of, sort of.
Kind of. So this one starts out with a museum. There's like a new display of, it's like dinosaur bones. And then Mr. Freeze just shows up, and his design looks awful.
Yep.
He has a bunch of my least favorite thing, which is the Colleen from Street Fighter V design, where it's like, here's just like this big fuck off coat because it's cold, but no pants because this show has designs in it.
But Freeze like ask for those uniforms. Yeah, don't put on the pants.
Oh, I just really want to quickly mention. So, I'll get to it. No, the synopsis pointed out something that I didn't realize going into this. But first off, I'll just say he's going around destroying things. He destroys the skeleton. He just destroys it, and then Tress McNeil is there, and she's like, "No!" And Mr.
Yeah,
Freeze
it's like my life's work.
Yeah, it's like...
And it's like, why are you doing this? And he's like, fuck you, that's why.
Yeah, essentially. And then, it happens again. There's like a guy it's like an artist. He has like a huge mural that he painted. It's like invaluable. And they're showing it off at some, I don't know, display. Art display thing, art reveal thing. And then Mr. Freeze shows up, and he destroys it, and the guy's just like, no, my life's work, no! And he's just like, fuck you, I want you to suffer like I do. And then Batman shows up.
My Nora's left me. Fuck you.
Yes, that's the thing.
Fuck your ass.
That's the thing I didn't realize, and just looking at that synopsis made me like double take. It says... The synopsis says, having become distraught after his wife Nora was revived and left him for another man.
I've got to be honest, I don't even remember that.
I don't remember that happening, but that's fucking insane.
That's funny.
Like,
Batman.
That plot was created by the previous show. That whole thing with Nora, and it's like... So, that was their plot to take it wherever they wanted to. And what they decided was just, she's better now, but she doesn't really like Mr. Freeze, so she leaves him.
I mean, he's kind of a creep, I don't know.
Why that? That blew my mind. Especially because I just, again, I don't think it's mentioned in the episode.
Okay, no, it is. I thought I'd double check that. They discussed in the Batcave. Obviously, we must have been distracted by something as they said that.
Okay.
I'm laughing about something else.
Yeah.
No. Confirms his wife left him, so he's pissed. Motivation: my wife left me, Batman.
And that really is the crux of the episode. Is just Mr. Freeze. He doesn't have his wife anymore because she just doesn't like him, I guess.
This is why I don't really want to go over the plot in detail, because it's just it's just been said. Like, he does one thing, then another thing, and then another thing. But like, no, that's kind of it. He's the Clock King. He is the new Clock King. Clock King does not appear in this show, but don't worry, he's here in spirit.
Yeah.
He is really petty, and he just wants to take it out on everyone because his wife left him.
I do want to point out this bit where Freeze in the art scene. Batman confronts him. Freeze has him dead to rights. He has this freeze gun pointed right at his head, and then he's just like, "Not today," and then just fucks off. And it's like, all right, sure, who cares? It cuts to Barbara doing like fucking bat danger room things. She's doing like a training thing where she's got like fake lasers shot at her and like jumping around obstacles and stuff. And then Bruce is just like, well, you would be dead if you
dead is dead.
A real thing. And she's like, I was doing good though. And then there's a serious ass shot of him, and he's just like, dead is dead.
There's a few of those in this like version of Batman. Like where he just kind of, it's just a zoom in on not even Batman, just Bruce. Unmasked, just saying something really intently, and it's really funny.
It's fucking weird.
He also scolds Tim for not knowing the ins and outs of the American justice system.
Very weird bit. And then Freeze shows up at Wayne's Manor because he's rich and Freeze is being petty.
Okay.
So Alfred gets I don't know, he gets the gun pointed at him,
Not
and he's
much
just
of
like,
anything.
yeah. And then he just gets tossed aside, and then he makes a fun little slide, and then I don't know, wrecks his manor or something.
It's just being rude.
Yeah, something happens, I don't remember. And then they confront Freeze at his base. Barbara's there again. She's just
I want to interrupt. They just freeze Alfred, and they put him in a chemical bath, like in
that's right.
Batman and Robin. And Alfred says, "Oh, Tim, get me a tea cookie." I'm like, oh, moving on.
Yeah.
So we get to his lair, his evil lair, and he's the big reveal. They're like, oh, there's his Freeze suit, the Mr. Freeze suit, and it's like, oh, he's not in it. Like, where is he? And they've looked down the corridor, and holy shit, Mr. Freeze is just a head on like a spider body.
Yeah.
In fact, I didn't write this in my notes, but he's like eerily similar to a The Mask, the animated series villain called Dr. Pretorius, voiced by Tim Curry. I'm just realizing that now, and he even has the same eye, so I don't know if that was the very, very obscure cartoon reference for me. But I don't know if that's like the inspiration for this version of Mr. Freeze, because he's very similar. But anyway, he's just like a head with spider legs, and that's what Mr. Freeze is now.
Yeah, his body,
and his
like, immortal body apparently decayed, so... Which...
his head's fine.
Yeah. And I don't know. There's a.
And then he's like, I'm upset. I am going to drop an ice bomb on Gotham. So we go up in like I think it's like a giant wing or something. This is the point where we kind of just stop writing a lot of notes.
Yeah,
there was a pretty good.
I do want to point out the thing that Batgirl does. Like they get I don't know if it was Batman, but I know she like they got the henchwomen have like guns pointed at them and just like, oh, put your hands up, and she's holding the thing that launches like the tracking devices that they use.
Oh yeah.
And
they use it early in the episode.
Yeah. And so she holds her hand up and then fires the tracker into the girl's skull. And it's like, that thing impales itself on steel. That lady is dead. that would fuck her up. And then there's some flying thing. It's about to drop a bomb.
There's another bit where we just can't. There's just a bunch of action unless something. There is one shot I quite like. There's a shot where Freeze's like his head is back in one of his regular suits. He's flying the plane or whatever it is, and then I think Batman sneaks up on him, and then because obviously his head is just kind of independent of his body, his head just spins 180. It's a bit of like a jump scare thing to look at Batman. That was neat.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's about all I can remember. And then they have a big scuffle. The ice bomb is dropped. It forms a giant iceberg. And like Freeze kind of ends up in it.
It's like over the ocean.
To see them.
It's like
nobody dies.
And then he gets stuck in it, and they're just like, "Oh well, we don't know what his fate is." And I'm just like, "Guys, he's immortal. Guys, come on." And then it shows a shot of the iceberg with his suit in it, but the head's not there.
Leading up to from this episode to one of the best Batman Beyond episodes, but we'll get to that, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a D.
That's a D.
The more I discuss it, it sucks.
That's one of those things where we have nothing good to say about it, so I don't know why I wrote low C. That's a fucking D.
Character assassination. We can see all the negatives here, like undoing Heart of Ice, those henchwomen, which like Schwarzenegger or the '60s show. I mean, like they were like, oh, Joel Schumacher, wow, what an idiot, and then they're doing this. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, you know better. And it's just they won an Emmy, and then they just did this with a character. He's just clocking. Like, come on.
Yeah. This.
The episode, like, in a bubble, the episode is probably a C, but the fact it's Mr. Freeze and they did this to him, it's a D.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed Hill was in the appearances. He like showed up in the background a couple of times, and he looks the same other than he has like white hair, so he just looks older, which I just felt like pointing out. But he probably won't get mentioned again. So. All right.
Just love that Mr. Freeze just whoop down, like whoops. you're in Scarecrow territory.
Yeah.
Scarecrow, man, what a pathetic character that was.
God,
no good episodes. Every episode Scarecrow sucked.
I mean, none of these designs have really improved, I would say. So
they had 2 tries.
Yeah. So. I mean, like with Scarecrow though, it's like it's only down from here, right? Because nothing else is really that much better. So,
nice.
Never fear, episode 4.
Well, this one's definitely not about Scarecrow because he's all about fear. So, like, you know.
Yeah, this one's definitely
Riddler.
Yeah, no one knows the human mind better than the Riddler. I do like at the beginning to just acknowledge this. This is not Batman's design in this show.
Yeah, I mean that took us
Yeah.
That took us 4 episodes, but I thought we better just have that image there. Just I want to acknowledge that.
All right.
They're in. It opens up in Gotham's like Broadway district. This is like a bunch of signs for. I can only imagine like avant-garde shows or musicals like Iron, Wind, The Men, and with like sponsorship from TDD and Sani.
Like
Like I know a genuine Panasonics when I see one.
I just say melon at the bottom. I don't know. It's just weird shit.
Melon.
Good old melon.
And then we see, then we just see a mysterious figure swinging across the rooftops. Like, wow, check it out! Oh, look who it is! And the mother with the kid is like, oh, that's Batman, honey. And then the person swinging just immediately flies into a neon sign and explodes.
I don't know.
That's Batman, honey. And then she's like, well, maybe it's not.
I thought it was implying that the guy dies that way, but I think that he just, he's fine.
Well, it kind of looked like, he dies in the same way Batman died, and
yes,
whoever.
Yes. But,
he's alive. This person is alive, and he is not Batman. He's like some crazy businessman, and he's swinging across Gotham. I don't really know how he's doing this, but he seems to have the time of his life. Batman and Robin see him and is like, hey, that's my thing. That's gimmick infringement. I need to stop you now. He tries to stop him, and he just doesn't have a care in the world. He like stumbles around, and Batman basically stops him from falling to his death. And he's like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like, and what they found like a card on him, like the No Fear card or something like that.
Oh yeah,
He'd been at like a seminar about how to conquer your fear, and then we cut to like this conference room. I don't know if you want to take over this bit.
Well, I mean, we get
the businessman's chatting to some mysterious figure.
A very horrifying-looking person who's got a noose around his neck, but he's mostly in silhouette. You just see his eyes, his white dots, and he sounds intimidating as shit.
He sounds like Jeffrey Combs.
Spoilers, it's Scarecrow. You know where this is going.
It's an lambasting the guy. He's like, what's the point of getting me test subjects if you're just going to lose them? It's like, it's so cool. It's such a good introduction. But he's not even probably introduced it. This is just like a tease.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess we don't formally know that's him yet, but like, come on.
Yeah, there's a quick scene of they had to reinforce what's going on. Bruce is in, his office, and then some guy like runs in and is just like, fuck you, I'm sick of your shit, I hate this fucking job, and one more thing, and then he like kisses a random woman, like his secretary or something. It was just like, okay, so it's a very weird way of establishing that there are these people who suddenly have no fears.
No.
So Bruce is like, I gotta figure out what the fuck's going on with this. So he attends the seminar that the card was alluding to in a very well-made disguise of...
He has a mustache. Bruce Wayne doesn't have a mustache. This guy does. So it's
yes.
not the same person.
Yeah,
Oh, he has
yeah.
a funny accent.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He kind of sounds like a mob boss or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's just like... Then there's a guy, the guy that Scarecrow was talking to in that scene. He's on stage, and he's just like, oh, you want to conquer your fears, da-da-da-da-da. And Bruce is like, alright, this is a load of hogwash. So he goes into the... He starts sneaking around. He goes into an office where no one's there, and he looks in a cabinet, and there's like a bunch of canisters of gas, and it's like, it's some sort of scarecrow toxin thing, probably. I mean, we don't know that yet.
Yeah, well.
And then he
And he gets knocked out.
Yeah, he gets gassed, but the knockout kind. And he wakes up in like it's like a zoo.
Was he gassed, or was he like whacked over the head? I might be getting confused with Over the Edge, where Scarecrow whacks someone else, but anyway, no, I guess it doesn't matter. He's unconscious.
Yeah, he's unconscious. He gets knocked out. He wakes up in like a habitat or something, like a zoo thing. I don't know. Like he's just out in some fake wilderness, and he's Scarecrow is standing on like a ledge above him, and is like, what the hell are you doing? And Bruce, in trying to keep up his disguise, is just like, I got lost.
I'm just looking for some loose cash. Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
I'm just stealing. It's like a thief. It's like,
so
I expected as much.
So Scarecrow.
So then he shoots him.
Yeah, he hits him with his new toxin. And
a gas bullet.
Yeah, he hits him with the gas bullet, and it is not the fear toxin, but as you could probably guess, an anti-fear toxin. It removes people's fears, which
he helped him.
Which is great. You know, it helps him out. So he ends up in the water. Bruce does, with an alligator. And then
so like he's originally just gonna leave, and then there's like this alligator, and Bruce is like, oh wait, okay, maybe not. And then after this happens, he's just like, I don't give a shit about no alligator, crocodile, whatever. And he just starts like climbing the fence. He just starts walking towards where Scarecrow was. He's like, I don't care. And then he gets like dragged under, and there's a scuffle, and like Scarecrow's obviously like, well, he's dead. Wanders off, and then there's like a lot of blood just kind of pools up to the surface, like a lot.
Yeah, he sees the blood, and he's just like, oh, that must be Bruce's blood, or that guy's blood. He's dead now. And then you see Bruce emerge after Scarecrow leaves, and then like the upside down crocodile corpse floats up to the top, and it's just like, okay.
I was waiting. I was like watching that scene. I was like, oh, okay, when are they gonna say it was like, oh, oil or like dye off his tie or something? It was just like. But then this scene just cuts. I'm like, I guess it was just blood. All right.
Yeah, he just kills a crocodile on screen, and you see its blood. It's
technically not on screen because he's under the water, but it was just a lot of blood. It is definitely dead.
It's like weird. They still obscured it, but they still got away with more than I was expecting. Like that was wild.
Yeah.
So
maybe they dosed the sensors with this fearless gas. They just gave him a dose of that. Like, there's loads of blood in the scene. It's like, I don't care. Kids should see more blood. I don't know. So then begins the fearless Batman arc.
Yes.
Because he's dosed up, and I think for once we'll have a cure for this. I guess they never had a cure for the regular fear gas. But anyway, Batman Bruce he's fearless now. And you think, well, that's good. That's just a good thing, right? Batman is not scared of anything. Like, what could go wrong with that? But it's just like, this is a great lesson on why fear is actually quite useful. Because for one thing, he just kind of starts. He's in the Batwing with Robin, and he's just being reckless as shit, like dangerously so. And he's just like almost clipping buildings and stuff. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get him. And Tim's like, you alright? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. It's like, I don't know if you are. But okay. And then they confront the guy who's given like the seminar. And then there's like there's a. I would say it's not a typical action scene because like Batman is like insanely reckless. You've got the Wesker dodging here, and he basically does that.
Yeah.
Like normally Batman would duck and take cover. Fearless Batman is just like, no, I can dodge this shit. Like, I don't care. Like, oh, he still doesn't want to get hit, but he's just like, I'm not scared of this though. And he takes out all the thugs. He's like way more brutal than usual, and he leaves this guy hanging out of the window. Kind of reminds me of what happened to that boss in Batman Forever, the one who got wheeled out of the big window. But anyway,
yeah.
kind of reminded me of that. And he's hanging there, and he's just like, I want information on Scarecrow. And it's like way more perilous than usual. Like, he's usually, we're used to seeing him do interrogation stuff, but this is like way more than that. And he's like, oh, Scarecrow will kill me. And he's like, well, yeah, I don't care. And then basically he ends up giving him the information. And then rather than pulling him back in, he just walks off. He's like, oh, that's where Scarecrow is. He just walks off. And the guy's still hanging there. He's like, oh, Jesus, God, help me. And then like the rope or whatever it was kind of just gives way, and Tim has to rush in and grab it. So we'll then realize like, okay, not only is Batman, like, he has no fear, he's also not afraid of killing. So his morals are gone as well.
Right.
There's no repercussions here. So Tim's like, that's real dangerous. So he actually uses the bowler to actually hog tie Bruce, basically. Great moment. And he's just like, yeah, you're out of control. And he's Batman's still just kind of like, oh no, I'm fine. He has no fear. So he's just like, no, I've got it under control. And it's like, no, you don't. And he's like, and then he says, and then he has this like heart to heart with him. And he goes like, you're right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I'm being dangerous. Look, from now on, I'm gonna let you take the lead. And he's like, are you serious? He goes, yes, I am. You've got complete control over this mission. And then Tim's about to untie him, and then he just goes, oh, you almost got him. And then Bruce is like, you little fucker, you little bastard, you fucking, untie me, you little shit, I hate you. So Tim just kind of leaves him tied up. That's a really good moment.
Yeah, it is.
You really think, I was like, oh, you've got a handle on this now, and it's like, yeah, no, you don't. Oh, you almost got me. And it's like, no. So yeah, that's a really good moment. And the Scarecrow's on a subway, and his plan is to spread this fearlessness gas through the subway, like through the sewer system, throughout the whole city. Typical gas-related plot. And then obviously, so Tim gets there, but so does Batman. He's brutal as hell, and then basically kind of culminates in Batman is strangling Scarecrow to death, and he's just like, stop it. He's like, no. But thankfully... So basically, I forgot to say, Scarecrow's plot is to spread this gas and then hold the cure ransom. He's like, you can buy... I've got the cure here. You have to buy it off me. I actually came up with a cure for this shit, finally. So there is a cure, and it's in an inhaler. And Tim, while he's strangling Scarecrow, he blasts it in his face. And he recovers, and he says, oh, I'll get Scarecrow off the train. And Tim's like, I don't know about that. And he goes, no, I'm fine now. I'll get him to safety. And that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Kind of made it sound a bit less interesting, actually is. But the fearless Batman, it's funny because we're praising Scarecrow, but it's not even Scarecrow's not really the main villain. It's this fearless Batman. He's the main villain. Tim's trying to rein him in.
It is funny. Like Scarecrow was amazing in every scene that he's in, but he's not in much of it. And then part of it is him getting strangled by fearless Batman. It's like he kind of jobs even whenever he's really cool, but it makes sense in this case. It's
I mean, this is like Batman on crack, to be fair.
Yeah. No, it is absolutely fair for him to be defeated by Batman in that way, because holy shit, that fearless gas is which is funny because he didn't mean to do that to Batman. He didn't realize that was Batman.
No, I guess not. Yeah, I guess he wouldn't want to do that. It's like you
Oh,
want to feel as Batman. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
that would be
I'm not having you
fucked up.
feel as Batman after. Yeah, but you know, I never even thought of that. Like, he didn't do it deliberately. It's
Yeah.
like you want to dose him Batman with this? Like, fuck no. Why would I do that?
When did I dose you? What the fuck? How did that
Do I
happen?
really want? What do I want Batman to be? Yeah, maybe Scarecrow was just like, oh no, he's broken his no killing rule for some reason. And then
Uh-oh.
maybe it's like when he got taken to Arkham, he was just telling all the others. Like, he's not afraid to kill anymore. Oh no.
That was his plan all along. But,
That was a damn good episode.
very good episode, yes. Finally a good Scarecrow episode. And, yeah.
Long overdue.
He's just a really
Got
great
that.
design and just a really good episode.
You're right with A. It's not quite S though, is it?
No, but it's got a lot of great qualities to it, and not a lot of there's not a lot of complaints I can make about it.
If you don't mind, I'll put it just after Heart of Ice. I really like that one a lot though.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I think it should be up there. Definitely one of the best episodes of either show.
Alright, oh god, this one.
Okay, it's time for You Scratch My Back, which is, guess what, a Catwoman episode, but also, it's a Nightwing episode. Something like,
Ooh.
like, immediately, we're just introduced, like, to Nightwing, or not, like, he's just there. Suddenly, it's Nightwing. It's like, who's that? It's Dick Grayson. He's still doing this thing, but he's not with Batman anymore. And there's a little bit of animosity between the two, because Batman shows up, and they do their banter, but Nightwing is just like, I could do this. I could take this on my own. And, there's, just some goons at a dock doing something. I don't know. But, yeah, Dick is just like, I could take this, and then he starts fighting these guys, and then Batman's there, and he's just kind of posing, like this shot here, just, hey.
Yeah, the criminal comes over to him, and it's just the criminal's just staring at Batman. I was like, what are you doing? And Batman's just ignoring him, and then he just walks off, and Nightwing's like, what are you doing? He's like, you said it. He's all yours. You said you didn't want our help. This is good.
Yeah. And then, Catwoman shows up. She has a design now.
Right, so yeah, review time. What do you think?
The color black, also she's pale. That's the new design. She is literally just shadeless silhouette, because, cat suit, and it's simplified, which is fine, but why is she pale? She's pale
Yeah.
now. But
I don't.
I don't know.
But then you see her out of costume, and it's like
oh
it's
god.
a jawline. So she's just whitening up her jaw, and it's not like cat-like. I guess it's like cat markings, like fur on a muzzle. But it just
Doesn't come across. It just
So I'm gonna be honest with you. So having watched all the episodes, I think this might be my single least favorite redesign. I fucking hate this design. It's awful. It's so bad.
It's not great. It just looks
I hate
strange.
it. It doesn't make a lick of sense to me. Like, no part of it, and it's simplified to the point where, like, they're not even drawing any detail on it or any shading. Like, she's just noob Cybot with a face. It's so bad, and she doesn't look like a cat. She doesn't. I mean, everyone's like kind of looks a bit different, but I have a hard time believing this is even the. It's not even just her in costume. Like, there's another image of her out of costume. And it's like that's still Selena Kyle. I mean, I know it's not possible for a woman to dye her hair, but given the show's face designs, as soon as they dye their hair, I can't even tell it's supposed to be the same person.
Yep.
I hate this design. It looks like shit. I'm sorry. It doesn't even like. It's not even cat-like.
I don't. Yeah, it's just.
Like Joker's. As much as I hate the Joker one, it's not this bad. I don't know what they were thinking here.
I don't know. It's bizarre.
I mean, compare it with the original as well. You know, like as soon as you compare the two, you're like, oh god.
Catwoman
But anyway,
in general.
this is Catwoman now.
Yeah, Catwoman in general in this show is something else, and I guess we'll be getting to it through this episode. Oh god, this is another. I just remember there's a lot of action, and then it's like Dick Grayson's like, "Hey, we should team up, you and I, Catwoman." Because
Yeah, she takes out the criminal. He comes around the corner and it's like, "Oh, Catwoman, you're no good." And she says, "I've been reformed." And he's like, "No, we've had like 5 reform episodes, and you know they never work out, and they never will probably. So I don't believe them."
yeah,
And then it's like, let's team up. And then like at some point they're like, "Oh, I don't. This partner thing's new to me." And he's like, "You fucking literally the last episode." Or before this season or whatever was you teaming up with Batgirl, so don't give me that shit, you liar.
what has she actually done in this in the animated series but team up with people? It's either teaming up with Batman or teaming up with Batgirl. That's all she does.
Yeah.
Or teaming up
Yeah,
with
but it's new. It's new to her.
Oh,
This kind of. All right, I've got a theory. This is not the same person.
she doesn't look like the same person. She doesn't act like the same person. She doesn't seem to know shit. So then they confront, or like Dick is at her apartment or something, and they're like planning some shit, and you see her outside a costume, and she looks like, I don't know, a random Batman Beyond character. She doesn't look like fucking Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
Same voice though, so it's a little disorienting.
It is, yeah.
And then Batman and Batgirl show up, and they're just like, "Hey, you shouldn't trust her. She is untrustworthy." And
Yeah.
Dick's just like, "Man, screw y'all. I can do what I want. I know what I'm doing." And they don't know.
We're getting into like a real kind of love triangle thing here as well. At this point, you know, because it's like, what you wrote it down. Barbara wants Bruce, and Grayson. No, wants Bruce and Grayson. Grayson wants Selena. Selena wants Bruce and Grayson.
Yeah.
This is getting like to Tekken levels of relationship, you know.
Because they emphasize like Barbara's like, she's interested in Grayson, and but then so she sees him with Catwoman, and she's just like, but I like him.
Very strategically using his surname there.
Yes. So they Nightwing and Catwoman go to like a ship somewhere where there's like a.
They're after El Gaucho. It's like Latin American crime.
Oh yeah.
Man, where they. I was gonna get a picture of him, but I felt like I had too many pictures in this episode. He basically has like a hook hand.
Oh yeah, that's right. So they're like sneaking around, and then Selena sees a rat, and then she hisses at it, and then gives away their position. It's like, okay.
Again, it's just even the same character. She's not part cat. Like she's not.
She didn't get bit by a bunch of stray cats and then turn into a cat person.
She's not. She's not Michelle Pfeiffer. You know. So cartoony, and like, what are you doing, Selena?
It's very weird. So there's a lot
This is not the same person.
Yeah. A lot of action, and then they end up inside the ship, and then she finds what she was looking for, which is the Chaos Emerald, the Cat's Eye Emerald. And Nightwing's just like, "You were just using me," and she's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "I was just using you." And then it turns out that Batman and Batgirl are there, and they were planning to do this from the beginning. It's like, double crossing all around.
Oh god.
And then there is a fuckload of action, a lot of gunfire, multiple shots of multiple characters with blood dripping out of their mouth. Just very weird.
Yeah.
And Catwoman gets away in a boat, and then she uses a flare gun, and then Nightwing flies after her and then apprehends her. And that was that episode.
This plot's very simple compared to the last show.
At the very least, this one was. Holy shit.
Yeah.
There's a number of those in this show, and this is certainly one of them. It's pretty unremarkable, other than just Catwoman is established in it as being a new character, and
Pretty much.
yeah, I guess it also establishes Nightwing. Like,
Sure.
it doesn't explain why he's doing Nightwing stuff, why he isn't Robin anymore, but that does come eventually. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was a Nightwing Catwoman episode, and it's not nearly as good as Batgirl Returns. I'll tell you that much.
No.
We wrote down C, and I'm going to say
Yeah.
low C because just
Low C. I don't think it's D because it's not. It's just blonde. So.
yeah. Oh,
Maybe next to POV.
that low.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like make them laugh. Like the Forgotten's a good way to summarize this episode as well. So put it near that.
Yeah, sure.
I mean that literally, but yeah, just that general area of just like who cares kind of tier.
Yeah.
There's a big cluster of just kind of whatever in that general area.
That's
Like even the ones before, like Time Out of Joint and Prophecy of Doom, they at least have like amusing elements to them. But then like when you get to the Forgotten and stuff, it's just like,
yeah, that's true. This had nothing of note in it other than just.
But it's not particularly bad either than what they
Yeah.
did to Catwoman.
Yeah, it is an episode of this show.
Specifically this show.
Yeah, this show.
Right, let's have a good villain to kind of cleanse our palate a bit.
Double talk. This is a Scarface episode.
What kind of a Scarface episode is it? What's gonna happen to the ventriloquist in this episode?
Oh, so I actually had this really original, cool idea for an episode.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah, let's hear it. I'm the Warner Brothers exec.
All right, so
Give us your idea, SK.
So we've got this ventriloquist character, and we thought it would be interesting if he were to try to reform. What do you think about that?
I put your credit there in the episode. That's a really good. I mean, you could do so much with the idea of a villain reforming. Man, what a crazy idea. In fact, if anything, that's too outlandish. Get out, you're fired. That's wild. I can't even fathom the idea of a villain turning good. It will confuse the children. Get out. No, it's a reform episode.
It's another.
So even here, we are not done with reform episodes.
No, we're not. It is.
That being said, ventriloquist, good character to get one.
Yeah.
Because he is very unassuming. If anyone can reform, it would be him. Because he very much comes across as a victim. So yeah.
The episode starts out with it's a dream sequence, and you can tell because a treasure chest is chasing after him, and he's like running around in these surreal environments, and you see like images of Rhino and that other henchman who I cannot
Wide
remember.
face.
Yeah, the Scarface redesign you see a little bit, and it looks a little silly. We'll get to it later, but
But that's a bad nightmare. It still gets me.
yeah, and then you see Ventriloquist wakes up, and he also not big on this redesign either, but whatever.
No.
And then
Yeah.
and then you realize like, oh, this is a reform episode. He's trying to exist as a normal citizen in society while dealing with nightmares about Scarface.
I'll say it again though. He very much of all the Batman, like the Rogues Gallery, he seems like the most like a victim. Like he seems the most like someone who could potentially be a decent person.
For
you
sure,
know?
yeah. And we just like him, so we're excited to see him again. So it shows him getting an apartment, and the landlady.
It's like a halfway house kind of for
Yeah.
like reformed criminals.
Yeah. The landlady is a little person, and that was like, hey, that's cool. You don't ever see that in anything. That's neat.
Yeah.
And then we were like, oh no, oh no.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, this is the villain with like a little doll person. Is that
Yeah.
gonna be? Is that gonna? Because everything's like has purpose in, especially in animation. It's like, is that where they're going with that? Like, yeah, that sounds cynical, but we're kind of afraid of that. But
So,
spoilers, yes and no.
yeah, yeah, it's weird, but the lady herself is not involved in any way.
No.
It's just she's a nice lady, and
Yeah.
she seems to genuinely care about ventriloquist. Oh, Arnold Wesker. I should use his name.
We really should. I mean,
yeah.
he's Wesker.
He is pitiful. Um, I just love Arnold Wesker. It sounds so close to Albert Wesker. It's just
It is his brother.
so it shows, and then we've got Wayne is actually. It shows Wayne actually trying to like he gives him a job, I believe. Like he works at the
Oh yeah, like
The
yeah,
offices.
he always tries to help these people.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah
he's not just about bashing their faces in as Batman. He does try and help.
yeah like he's genuinely like fighting to help Arnold actually like improve his life. So he gives.
That's what we call him, Arnold.
That's
Arnold.
ventriloquist. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let's
but
call him Wesker. It's funnier.
yeah, it's Wesker. So and then yeah, you get occasional shots of like. Oh, Rhino's and the other guy. I don't remember the other guy's name. I just remember Rhino.
Because Rhino's more notable. Let's be
Rhino.
honest.
We love Rhino.
LeChuck.
Yeah, good old LeChuck. They chose him kind of like what are we supposed to do? Like the ventriloquist is not acting like himself.
Where's Mr. Scarface?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know where he is, don't you?
And then a very weird bit where Wesker like he comes out of like a subway, and then he like suddenly it's like really bright and blue and everything's like all colorful, and we're like, is this a dream sequence? Like what's going on here? And as far as I could tell, no. It was just like, oh, his life is so much better now, and then he sees Scarface and he's like, ah, he starts having a panic attack. But essentially, yeah, it's
It's kind of
just
hard to tell if he's like hallucinating or we're fully into a dream sequence, and we realize no, he's just kind of picturing this as he's moving around.
yeah, yeah. So it's just showing that like he's having issues while trying to reform.
Yeah,
then-
I mean, it wouldn't be that easy, would it?
Yeah, yeah. And what ends up happening is that he starts getting like phone calls from Scarface, which is
Yeah.
his persona, and he's just like, no, you're not real. And then like you hear the voice on the answering machine like talking to him. He's just like,
Yeah.
no, stop, you're not real. And he's just like, look out the window, dummy. And then he looks out the window, and then in the phone
That's a
booth
dummy.
is Scarface, and he's like,
Yeah.
ah. And so,
Whoa.
and then yeah, like a bus passes by and the doll disappears, and it's just like, oh god, he's actually real.
Yeah.
And so
There's a bit where Batman like runs down to there's like the bit of the phone booth he runs down and it's gone. That might be jumping ahead a bit there.
yeah, like because Batman investigates it, he like listens to the audio on the recording, and he's like, this is a different voice. So, like, what's going on there? And then he chases after. I think he's there whenever that happens, and he's in the phone booth, and he chases after him, and you actually see Scarface like running around, and then he ends up in a warehouse. I wrote back quick step because there's a bit where he's like in a distant shot, like walking across the warehouse, but the walking animation is way too slow for how fast he's moving. It's a very weird shot. But yeah, then he eventually, and I think it's an action scene, he gets away. And
Yeah, he's chasing Scarface, which is pretty weird.
yeah, he's having a.
We never see him too clearly, but
Yeah.
it's like that's the conclusion we come to.
Yeah, so, and what happens is ventriloquist is fully back in his persona. He's just like, he's been convinced that Scarface is real and that he needs to go back to doing what he does. And then Batman ends up interviewing another little person living in the same like apartment area.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, do you know anything about this doll running around? And then the guy eventually is just like, all right, you got me. I was paid by some goons to, imitate this guy and run around
Dress
dressed
up as Scarface, yeah.
So, and Batman's just like, well, shit. So now Wesker has been convinced to by somebody, and it turns out, of course, it's Rhino and the other guy. Like,
That's where we got a bit confused about the little person, because I was kind of waiting for it to be like, are they married or something? I was like, surely they must know each other. I mean, I know in real life, like, why the hell would they know each other? Like, they wouldn't all just know each other, you know?
Yeah,
But in terms of like production of a cartoon, it's like, is that her husband or something? But like, no, they are utterly unrelated. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, it was very strange that it's like, okay, you have one of them so that he can be Scarface, sure. Why are there two? Like, why was the landlady necessary? Whatever.
Whatever, just kind of weird.
I mean, it's not even a guy that, like, you see before that reveal. It's like, you see him enter his apartment after, like, stealing someone else's milk. And then suddenly Batman just was like, hey, you were being Scarface. He's like, yeah, you got me. It's like, okay, this random guy, sure. But,
I also just want to acknowledge this shot of the triumphant return of Scarface, and we couldn't get various reasons we couldn't get subtitles on these videos, and it's helped to have subtitles on when we're watching because we're talking over it. So I was like, there's this one that just uses speech recognition to just generate subtitles before the episode even starts playing, and it kind of plays them back like DVD subtitles, like one line at a time. It's like simultaneously impressive, but it's also well, here's Scarface's return, in which he declares Scarface isn't back.
Oops.
Good job. Yeah, good job. And we were watching this, and we were just like, oh, we don't know who's this then. Is this some new character? Because he just said Scarface isn't back. So no, I actually don't think we watched it with these subtitles.
No,
I think I just banned this as a test, and then when I was like ripping images, they were still saved for some reason. So I'm like, that's great. That's a good shot.
Apparently, oh yeah, okay, because I forgot that Barbara's in this episode as well. She ends up, they end up basically, I don't know, Wesker and Scarface are at a building or something. They're stealing or something, I guess. And then with Rhino, they confront the villain or the henchman, and they're just like, "Oh shit, Scarface is back! Yay!" But it ends up.
But it's like, you use mugs. Like, you thought you could trick me, the real Scarface, with this fake?
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, so he was straight up. Scarface is just like, you guys tried to fool me with the fake. Like, I know that wasn't me. And they're just like,
That's so good.
like, oh god, oh shit. So he tries to kill them, and it ends up, I don't know. Batman just basically convinces them, like, hey, this is, he's not real. You can be independent from him. And then
he does it without throwing his voice.
Yeah. And then Wesker is just like, no, and then eventually he caves, and he uses the Tommy gun to again shoot Scarface and shred him to fucking Swiss cheese. And then Scarface gets dumped into like a grinder and just turned into dust. It's like,
yeah, I think it's like a air vent or something.
I don't know.
I think it's like a fan like on the rooftop.
It was something. It shreds him to fucking bits though, and it's like, man, the most brutal deaths happen to Scarface. That poor guy.
Gonna have to, yeah.
Yeah. And then it ends with Wesker in his room hanging out with the landlady, and they're just having a nice conversation, and it's just like,
that's the most unique thing about this Reform episode, is that it actually ends with a reform. Or at least, with a hope for one.
Yeah. But that's, it is implied that he reforms, and
Does he stay reformed? Because next time we see him, it's in a non-canon appearance, let's say.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I guess so, because yeah, we only see him that one time, so
good for him.
yeah, yeah. This is a decent episode. This is a good episode.
Not the best ventriloquist episode, but it's
No.
quite entertaining. The best part is him like going like, "Oh, you tried to fake fake Scarface." Like poor Ryan was like, "Oh,
Oh God.
probably trying to manipulate someone who's quite unstable."
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, it's just, I mean, despite these designs, because they're not great, but
Yeah.
this Scarface is fun. We love Scarface, and he's still pretty good here. So we said high B.
I'm thinking like that top row there. I think it's content. Well, there's his other episode.
Yeah.
Read My Lips. So. I'm alright with that there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's better than his origin episode, but it is.
Oh, these are so nondescript on here.
Yeah.
Like it's none of our faults, but anyway, just one of those things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, at least that one has like you can just about make out the Arkham Arch, and it's him reforming from there. So at least that fits.
Yeah, I mean, that's whenever you think Arkham Asylum, you immediately think Scarface and nobody else. So.
Well, him rather than Penguin.
Well, yeah, true. This Penguin one. God, so.
Oh, right, okay.
So I am sick to death of Reform episodes, though. I am so fucking glad that
You've said that before.
We got this out of our system. Like, we got it in a Reform episode, and this season, we don't have to do it again. We don't have to fucking...
Hey! I've got a great new episode.
What do you
idea
got?
For
what is it? Is it a Reform
hear
episode?
This, right?
Is it a Reform episode?
Well, I mean, that's... Reform's just like a word.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's... Well, how about... Well, it's not a Reform episode. What if the Joker, like our flagship character,
okay.
what if he
reforms?
He went. No, I didn't say that. What if he gave up being a criminal?
You mean he reforms?
I didn't say that. I said once if he didn't have to be a criminal anymore. Once if he just had lots of money.
What?
So it's not like he's not reforming. He just doesn't need to be a criminal anymore, and he chooses to not be a It's a Reform episode. I'm sorry. It's a Reform episode.
Get out.
Joker reforms. I'm sorry.
Okay. Would you like to...
Joker reforms.
Tell us about Joker's Joker. Riddler's millions of Reform episodes.
Millions of Riddlers. No. Oh god. Joker and Harley are having a caper, and it doesn't go very well. Joker's like, Harley, you idiot, you suck, this is your fault. And she's like, no, Mr. J, we really don't have much money anymore. And he's like, what do you mean we don't have much money? It's not like I live in an apartment and have to pay rent. We then cut to Joker's apartment where he has to pay rent. Oh, and Harley got fired, by the way, because he can't afford her. Well, I guess she gets paid a salary.
No,
he just doesn't want her there.
I think it's more so just that, like, he escapes without her. And
right, yeah.
She just gets...
Oh, yeah.
Like, he uses the, what is it, like a rocket-powered, like, ejector seat. And she's like, hey, where's mine?
She should definitely get fired then if she got caught.
So, yeah, she ends up in Arkham, so, yeah.
So, Joker... We then cut to... I can't believe I'm saying this. Joker's apartment, and he can't afford to pay his rent.
The landlord
well, we definitely have... Right, well, hey, it may be a Reform episode, but we haven't dealt with villains who aren't able to pay their rent. So, you know, give us that. That's a new idea.
Yep.
Which we should definitely revisit. Joker can't afford his rent. And then he... Basically, he gets his bills. I forget how quick this is. He gets his bills, and then in his mail he got a letter basically saying that there was a criminal who had millions. He died, and he left the Joker as the sole like beneficiary of millions of dollars. And like Joker's like, yay, I like money. And then he basically just kind of, I think this episode's weird. He goes on like a montage of living the high life, and he's very happy.
He like buys his way out of having a criminal record. Like he hires a bunch of lawyers to clean it up, so he just becomes. It's not so much a reform episode in like literally as it is just like he is not a criminal anymore, and he doesn't want to be because he's just rich and he doesn't give a shit anymore. Which,
yeah, basically,
you know, because like that's Joker's whole thing is that he just wants money and he just wants to live a good life and he doesn't care about Batman at all.
Yeah, so yeah, and then there's this little scene in the Batcave where Batgirl's like, oh, maybe he's actually wanted to reform. That pisses Batman off.
Forgot about that.
So he then he starts and then he has like a press release or something where he's trying to find a replacement for Harley. Joker seeks new hench girl, and then there's this. I was going to say this very silly scene. This whole episode this is just a purely, if you can't tell by now, this episode is 100% comedic.
Yeah.
Like this is absolutely a gag episode. It is not supposed to be serious. Oh, I also just want to very quickly acknowledge the title card. It is like a diegetic title card. Like that is an animated scene. They are in like a computer expo, and Joker's Billions is displayed on this giant computer, and they're running around it. So it's like the one episode that has something resembling an old title card, but it's diegetic. It's in the world. So that's just from the opening shot. It's like this is gonna be a weird one. Anyway, this is like a comedic episode, and
I was just really thrown
interviewing fake Harleys. Yeah,
I was just really thrown off by the whole like he's not a criminal anymore, but he's hiring henchwomen, and it's like, wait, what? So he just puts in the newspaper like, hey, who wants to be my hench girl? It's like, but what? Why?
So
you're rich.
Why? Yeah, I think you've put too much. I think you put more thought into this than Paul Dini ever did.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So this is like amusing scene of these fake Harleys, and then he hires one with like a really annoying laugh, and we just kind of find it amusing because he just kind of comes across as like the modern Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Just kind of an annoying and just a bit clueless. And there's this great shot where she just calls him like, I don't know. She goes, "Oh, that's a great one, Mr. G," and then he just gets really annoyed. He pulls a gun out on her.
Oh, I can't even tell because it's dark. I forgot.
It is, yeah. Yeah, he's pointing a gun at the back of her head, and then the henchman is just like, "No, you can't kill. You're reformed now." And he's like, "Oh." And then she's like, "I might be butchering the order of all this shit, but I don't even care."
He finds out that the
it's actually fake Harley. Like finds it. She's like, Mr. G, this money looks kind of weird." So, and he looks at the money, and it's all got this like grinning mug of the guy who died on it. And then she's like, "Oh, I found this tape as well." So they play the tape, and it's this guy in his deathbed saying, "Hey, Joker, I always hated your guts. Here's my last joke from me. Here's all this just fake fucking money that's completely worthless, and you've probably spent most of it now, and now you'll be in crippling debt. I always knew I'd have the last laugh," and then he just seemingly dies on camera. I don't know if that's literally true.
I don't think so.
So like, whoops, Joker got pranked. Just a prank.
There was a whole bit where he's like, he realizes that like he owes a lot of money, and he's scrambling to pay off all the bills that he's collected. And there's the thing is just like, I'll fuck with Batman, but I don't fuck with the IRS.
Yeah, that's probably the most famous line in the famous line in this episode. Granted, it isn't stated quite as you stated it, but yeah. But yeah, that's like that feels like the punchline for this entire episode.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
just Paul Dini thought that was hilarious. Like you would say that. It's not unfunny. That's kind of the biggest problem with this episode. But just to conclude the plot, he's like shit. I owe a lot of money now, and I can't pay it. So he then has to get back into crime. And it's not really much to say. I remember it being on like the water side, and it just doesn't go well. Batman apprehends him. Oh yeah, there's this bit with a fake Joker, and I don't even know why they bothered.
I can't remember what that was in context to, but yeah, there's a fake Joker hanging out at Penguin's Club, and you could tell he's fake because he has normal-looking eyes.
Yeah, his design's slightly better.
Yeah, yeah. And then I don't know, like, Batman's there or something, because he starts, like, sweating and the makeup starts rubbing off, and he wanders off into the bathroom, and then Batman catches him there, and then it's, like, interrogating him by giving him a swirly. You don't see it, but you hear him flushing the toilet, and it's like, okay, that's what Batman's doing, and then...
Yeah, so he's like an actor the Joker hired to just kind of... Because he's getting back into crime, and I guess he wants an alibi at the Penguin's Iceberg Lounge, which I don't think we've mentioned yet. We'll have time to mention that. And then we... So he goes... Yeah, Joker goes to do a crime, get some money. He gets apprehended pretty easily. It's not really the point of this episode by Batman. And we both vote simultaneously pathetic Joker. So that just came out on the document as pathetic Joker. We literally wrote the same thing at the same time.
Yeah,
and he gets apprehended. He gets put in one of those vans, and Harley's in there waiting for him. He's obviously escaped, and she beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, because she sees the hiring new hench girl thing.
Yeah.
That's how that's established, is that she sees it. Or, yeah, she's just like, oh, Mr. J, blah, 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 he's gonna blah, 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 and then it sees...
He'll get me out of here.
Yeah, hiring new hench girl. Oh, that motherfucker. So,
oh, boy. This is not the first one of these, but this is... Yeah, this is our first, like, episode that's absolutely 100% played for laughs.
Yeah. I didn't like it.
So, in his defense, I don't think it's unfunny, I wrote down. Like, I don't think it's unfunny, but it's a Batman episode. It's like Animaniacs or something. I mean, we'll come across this again much later on, but yeah, it's just this big tonal shift. This is when it gets weird putting this on the same tier list as Batman the Animated Series. This is when it gets a little bit like, those are not directly comparable. I mean, they are and they aren't. But when you get to episodes like this, it's like, oh.
This is definitely the start of, like, this is a different show. It is going for something different. But, again, it's really weird because it is in the same continuity as the next episode, even, references the animated series, like, directly. So, it wants to be in the same continuity, but it also wants to be way sillier. And it's just like you can't just have it both ways, you know?
So I don't think I said this at the time. This is a lot of people's favorite episode.
That's wild. Like,
no, it's Joker's Millions. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Nice.
I mean, if it's like it was completely in a bubble. This is like a short.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fairly amusing.
Yeah.
It's fine. As part of this,
Nah, it was just...
I feel like this is like the most subjective one of all, but...
Yeah, I get it. Like, I get why people would like it if they're all they want is just like an amusing Batman Joker story. But for me, like, going through this entire series and then seeing this, it's just like, by the way, we don't give a shit anymore. It just...
Yeah, it's not... So we wrote down D, and I can't argue that. But maybe maybe the top of D, because it's not like incompetent.
And there are
It's just they're going for something we don't agree with.
Yeah, and there are bits we laughed at. Like, we actually genuinely enjoyed fake Harley. That was a lot of fun. Just this obnoxious lady who just can't even...
She'll be the annoying laugh.
Yeah, it's just a lot of good bits.
Well, she did have an annoying laugh.
Yeah, I remember...
Yeah, there'll be a lot of people's, like, A's, but, like, nah. In the context of doing the whole show, it's not for us.
I hated this episode when I first saw it, and then coming back to it, I'm just like, I'm not mad about it anymore, but I'm still just like, this is not what I want out of this show. And unfortunately, that's what I got.
Yeah.
So, episode 8.
We've got a weird one.
Episode 8, Growing Pains. This is one of those ones where you look at the title where it's like, I have no idea what the fuck this is. Like, I couldn't even guess. Like, Joker's...
I'd seen more of these than you had, but some of these I'm just like, I have no idea what this is. This is definitely one of them.
Yeah, it's like Joker's Millions. I could probably guess that the Riddler's gonna show up in it, but, like, this one, I don't know. No idea. So there's this girl who, like, running around in, like, alleys, and she's, like, obviously trying to get somewhere. And then some bikers start showing up and antagonizing her. And Tim Drake, just alone, just shows up and has a fight with the biker gang and chases them off. And then he goes to the girl, he's like, hey, what's up? And she's like, I don't know. I gotta go.
My memory, not.
She's like,
good.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I just gotta run.
Forgotten.
I have forgotten. I am the underdweller? Anyway, so she's just like, I gotta go. And she runs off. She escapes him. And he's just like, well, that was weird. What the hell?
I want to point out just before, because I haven't got many images here, because I just didn't really know what to take images of. Because I'm going to acknowledge this now, because I'm going to move away from the scene. Like, super anime look in this episode.
Yeah,
like, super anime, just from those stills.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll say it now. Reminded of Akira in this opening scene, and also reminded it by the show's end as well.
Right.
Here we've got the bike gangs, and even the music kind of sounds similar, like ooh, like the percussive kind of Akira music.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's kind of noteworthy, I guess.
Yeah. So, Tim is talking about it to the others, and they're just like, well, you can't really do anything about it. She didn't want to be helped, so just leave her alone. And then at some point, Tim is being driven around by Alfred, like, near a subway or like a train station?
Like a bus terminal or something? I can't remember.
Some sort of terminal. And then he sees her in the crowd entering the terminal. And he's like, hey, there she is. I'm gonna go see what's up. And Alfred's like, you're not allowed to do that. And he's just like, too late, I'm doing it. He's like, fuck. So everyone's very vulgar whenever I describe their dialogue. I don't know why.
You are, yeah.
That's just sorry.
The SK cut.
Yeah. This is if I had written this, everyone would be swearing a lot more. Wouldn't be this kiddie shit.
What we like do subconsciously, like just by watching a children's cartoon. And in this fucking episode, we adults were watching.
So he starts chasing her around, and then he approaches her, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she's like, "I don't know. I'm running away from somebody, though." And he's like,
and at this point, I'm getting like a little niggle in my brain. I'm like, oh, I sort of have the vaguest memory of this, and I was like, I think it might have something to do with Clayface.
And then,
just a guess.
And then this guy walks out with Ron Perlman's voice, and we're like, I think it's Clayface.
Right, yeah.
I overlooked another thing that was established earlier is that the same guy was seen robbing a bank by just like ripping out a shit with his bare hands, or like a cash register. It was something, but he's going around robbing shit, and Batman's like, I don't know who this guy is, but he's really strong. and then this guy shows up to, he's like, oh, I'm her father, and she's coming with me, and Tim's like, no, because I can tell that something is fucked up here. So, I believe Batman shows up, and they chase this guy around. He does some very weird shit, like he jumps off of a really tall, like several stories up, out of like a parking garage or something, and then lands, and he just kind of squishes a little bit. That's that shot there. He kind of widens a bit, and then just kind of bounces up, and then just runs off, and he gets away from the duo, and they're just like, what in the world is up with that? I think we wrote "It's Kane" because there was just like a building that was just labeled Kane. And I think that's what that was about. Very weird note there.
It's good.
But Batman at where the chase started at the terminal, he finds like some mud, and he's like, oh, it's some mud from his shoe. We're just like, Batman, for fuck's sake. And then you see him like in the cave, like analyzing it, and then I think Tim is like just run off to like try to find her. And then Batman's like, I know who her dad is. And we're like, yeah, so do we.
I was like, I don't know. Oh, I know. It's Von Perlman playing himself.
This mud is from a guy made of mud. But, I think
they go to the sewer.
Yeah.
Where the final fight takes place.
Yeah, the sewer, I don't know, they end up there somehow. Tim, the lady, or Annie, the girl, they're just like, what's going on? And then Clayface shows up, or the guy shows up, and he turns into Clayface in a really bad-looking shot. Like, he just kind of forms over top of the...
Yeah, it just, like, overlaps his skin. It's not like his skin is turning into, like, the Claymore, so it's just, like, it looks like it's... Kind of looks like Venom putting on his symbiote suit, you know?
Yeah,
it kind of just wraps around him.
Yeah. It doesn't look great, but, I guess apparently, sometime after that, like, there's a fight, like, Clayface attacks them with some pretty cool-looking stuff. Like, it forms, like, a big wall of bricks out of his hand.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
It's not quite Peter Clay, but it's still fun to see.
Yeah, it's nice. I think they get away long enough to, like, get some exposition in. So Tim is, like, they're in some sort of, like, warehouse or factory or something. And, Tim notices something.
Is it like a water refinery thing or something? Cause it's like offshoots of it. Because, like, so we'll get into, like, Clayface's lair in this episode is the result of him climbing in from the sea. From Mudslide.
Yeah. Because he knows, Tim notices something's wrong with Annie, like, he knows something on her, and then it's like clay, and then it starts going into her body, and then she's like, I remember now. And he's like, what the fuck? And she's like, whenever, Hagen was, dispersed in the sea or whatever, he went underneath some chemicals being dumped out of this factory, and it changed his DNA or something, and then he forms together, and then he creates this girl out of his own body.
To scout for him.
Yeah, you just like go out and go find stuff or something.
Well, are the cops looking for me? Like, the coast's clear.
And then she apparently forgets or something, like she just she doesn't know what's going on for some reason, and this twist might have been surprising if not for the holiday episode, because
I'm not gonna lie, when we watched the holiday episode, I thought it was like, oh, that's a weird power he has, and I never expected them to follow up on it, so I'll give them that. They did eventually explain it. I mean, it's weird, but they did offer an explanation. I just thought it was just part of, like, the B design, just like, oh, we can do that now. But then we find out later on, it's like, no, that's...
Yeah.
No, there was a canon reason for that.
Which, I think it's very strange.
It's so weird.
It's very strange. It's just like, he can create sentient life. Like, okay. He gets, like, his power becomes enhanced by chemicals, and he just can do mitosis. Like, sure,
Yeah, like
okay.
where's his? Because those are like his children in the Christmas episode. Like, were they all self-aware, or were they just part of it? Like, is he just splitting his consciousness into four? Like, why? Oh my god,
Apparently,
this is such a weird episode.
it is. Yeah. So, she, I don't know. Like, Clayface finds them. She's obviously not, or she doesn't want to just become part of him again. I guess I don't know a better way to put it, but she wants to be independent, and he eventually gets a hold of her and then absorbs her, and you see like this shot of her like being pulled into his body and like eaten by his like
I think
amorphous
there's
body.
if I may, I
Yeah.
think there's a bit where like Clayface is about to kill Bob, and so she makes a conscious. She's trying to stay away, but she makes a conscious choice to tackle him, to tackle
Right.
Clayface and save Bob, and so she was like sacrificing herself to save him. Like she knew she wouldn't be able to escape doing that.
Yeah, yeah. So she's being
So
absorbed, and she's like, "This is your chance to get away," as she's being swallowed, and that's the other Akira reference you were mentioning. It varied. It
yeah,
yeah. It's an image. Um. So
quite as
they
gory, but yeah.
yeah. So yeah, she becomes part of Clayface, and now he's just the one entity again. And then Batman shows up. Something with like a tank full of some sort of fluid that I don't know, like causes him
Like
to melt.
solvent or something.
Yeah, solvent.
Am I thinking of another episode? Yeah.
No, it was a solvent, and it does something. It basically it fucks him up. It like melts him, and so he's just like, oh, I gotta get away from that. And I actually don't really remember how that
They
ends
remember
up.
they actually end up capturing him. They put him in this like weird tank thing by the end of the episode.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like the only time he actually gets captured.
right,
Um,
yeah,
well, apart from Feet of Clay, where he escapes by having like a body double. Yeah, I guess he faked his death there.
yeah.
But yeah, as far as we know, it's the first time he ever gets like actually captured. And then this Tim and Batman are having this like thing where he's like, "Oh, well, she was never real," and Tim's like, "Oh, she's real to me," or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just kind of wanders off into the sunset, and it's like,
No, it was
it's got like the pacing and setup of like a moral like message at the end there, but I'm not sure what it is.
no, it
Like,
was something like they can't convict him of the crimes, there's certain crimes he committed as like,
oh yeah,
and then it was just like, what, he is guilty of a crime, murder, and then that's how the episode ends, is him being like, he murdered this girl, and I'm just like, that's, she wasn't
that's
uh,
what's the I don't know whether this child knows nothing of the American legal system.
it's like,
I don't
I
weird.
understand like what they were going for, because I understand why he feels that way, but it's like a very weird thing to just end on. It's just somebody he cared about was murdered, and he just has to live with that. All right.
But she wasn't. Oh god,
He wasn't a real person. I don't know. It's strange.
it's weird.
It's so weird.
I think that was so weird though to give it a pass.
Yeah, it was definitely remarkable. I'll give you that.
The moral message is really like what, but hey, I wasn't bored.
No, yeah. This
It's at
was
least interesting. I'm going to remember this.
and it was just entertaining. Like the mystery was interesting, and then when you realize what it is, it's like, that's very interesting. But
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm just realizing how like the two Red Sky thumbnails just look the fucking
oh my
same.
god, they do. Jesus. All
Right. I was like, I kind of looked over. It's like, why have you put Over the Edge on there? Like, I don't know, what is that? And like, oh, I can't even read the text.
Yeah.
Anyway, not our fault. It's
No.
better than nothing. So that's B.
We said B. I said low
It's
B.
it's too interesting for C.
Yeah.
I think that looks good. What's that? What the left?
The Sins of
Is
the
that the
Father.
same one?
It does look like the same. 3 of these.
No, let's like no. Do me a favor, right? Go down. Like,
Uh-huh.
it could just. Oh no, not actually putting it on the tiers. We have that other red sky one on the far right.
Oh,
Like, just put
God.
it next to them. Does it just look like one continuous skyline, like a panorama? Yeah, it does. I'll
Wow.
have to put that there now.
Amazing.
Damn it, amazing! Wow, there's so much. Definitely worth getting rid of those beautiful title cards. Am I right? Oh my god, mean seasons.
Mean Seasons. I remember this was interesting because something had happened with the player, so you were streaming it to me, and I wasn't seeing it, and so it took us like a minute to be like, hey, wait, are you playing the episode? You start talking about it, and I'm like, are you playing the episode? You're like, oops. And then, so you restarted it, and then you wrote down, male strippers
I'd
throw
already
a bunch of
written the
Easter
note.
eggs.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
And you're like, what? And I'm like, well, you'll see. And then the episode starts, and a bunch of male strippers throw a bunch of Easter eggs, and you're like, yep, okay.
I was like, I guess I have that to look forward to. What a strange thing that is.
Why are you writing your shit post? Like, well,
I was like, that is the last thing I expected. So, yeah, there's something happening. Attacks youth-oriented events on specific dates. Sure.
youth-oriented? It's like a car show.
I don't know. The second one was the car show. The first one, I don't remember what it was, but she attacks some sort of thing, and it's this lady who's dressed all in green, and she looks kind of like Dollface from Twisted Metal.
Specifically, like 2012.
Well, yeah.
Because she was, well, we'll get to that,
We'll get
but
to that.
yeah, because it's more than just appearances they have in common.
Yeah, but she throws Easter eggs, and she is an Easter-themed villain. Okay, no,
Finally.
I think they give up pretty quickly. It's Calendar Girl. They took Calendar Man, and they combined him with another character. Like, this is based on loosely a couple of other comics.
Right.
And so they just kind of combined this, like, star character with Calendar Man to make Calendar Girl. It's very...
Amazing.
Yeah. So this is essentially our Clock King, is we got our goofy-ass villain. But, it's definitely played straight here.
Yeah.
So she kidnaps some guy, and then oh yeah, there's like a little side where Bernie is some guy who works at the Wayne offices, and he's retiring because he's like forced to because he's old or something, and that'll come up.
Yeah, it's a theme of ageism.
Yeah, that's thematic. This episode it's themed. So
Yeah.
there's a car show, and then she shows up dressed in red or yellow? Yeah, yellow. And she
With like American hats, like the henchmen strippers are also themed. They're also wearing these like American hats.
yeah, the Uncle Sam hat or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she throws it and then shoots fireworks everywhere. It's a very weird visual. I really loved you being like, what does fireworks have to do with the summer?
I didn't say it like that. I am very well of the 4th of July, but I was like, yeah, I don't associate that with summer.
Right, yeah. And it was just like, you were like, what your equivalent of that is in November, so it's like, fireworks are very much like a winter thing over there. So I just thought that was an amusing little bit of, I don't know, amusing discussion.
Like 5 days after Halloween for us.
Yeah. So that was funny. So it was just like, yeah, there's this. It's summer themed, and that means fireworks. And I don't know. She kidnaps some guy who looked kind of like Lucius. I think I confused him for Lucius, and it turns out it's not.
So I mean, we'll skew the order of this if we've got the order. It really doesn't matter. We don't have to do we don't have to summarize the plot. We find out this is Paige Monroe because we get it, Paige calendar. And she's like a model, so she's very similar to Dollface 2012 because she was also a model. Dollface was like, she had like a minor wound in her face, and she like freaked out, and she always wore this mask. Paige's thing is she was fired when she turned 30. They're like, you are too old to be a model. Like you would, and she kind of took this psychologically. She perceives herself as horribly ugly and old and disgusting. So she permanently wears this mask, and she starts doing these like holiday-themed crimes.
Like
and I think,
season themed. It's weird. It's both holiday and season. It's
yeah,
weird.
yeah. And then she's like kidnapping the members of like, I think it was like the hiring bodies for her modeling agency. So it's like the modeling agency would work with the motor company, for example, and things like that. So basically, her clients, the modeling agent's clients. So that's who she's kidnapping. I think the next one is, so we've got Easter, the car show for summer. I don't quite get the connection there, but alright. The next one is like, I think it's like autumn or fall, and it's like a TV studio showing off their next lineup for that season of television, which, I don't know, feels like something the television writer would come up with. That's not the first thing I would think of, but there's like some funny little fake TV shows in there. It's like, was it like Teen Cop or something? Just this kid that kind of looks like Skate from Suits of Rage.
Yeah.
He's solving crimes on a skateboard. Little funny little bit there. What was the theme for that one? Oh yeah, it was like Halloween. So
Yeah.
like pumpkin bombs, like Green Goblin and I guess Poison Ivy from Almost Got Him. And he had like candy corn earrings that explode. Just weird stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I don't want to skip it because I won't be coming with the notes again. One of the male escorts, they had just this one little comedy bit where he just goes, "Oh, I want you to be quiet." It just, I don't know why this one rando just got a little comedy bit all of its own. Anyway, then naturally Batman fights a dinosaur. The end. No, it's kind of so that she escapes to like a movie studio, and I guess there's a like overlap with models, I guess, and she's in one of those old-fashioned director's chairs on the like a big arm, so she's kind of flying around on that. And then there's just this animatronic dinosaur from like the new Jurassic Park or whatever. And there's it's another one where it's like a perfectly good scene. It was one of your highlights. But what is there to talk about? It's an action scene, so you just fight. It's him and Batgirl fighting a robot dinosaur, and I believe this is the robot dinosaur that this is like the model dinosaur that ends up in the Batcave that we see in Justice League and Batman Beyond. I'm assuming this is the one. We watched every episode prior to those, and it's the only dinosaur I've seen. So yeah, they like the giant Two-Face's giant coin. They let him keep it, and yeah. So he fights the dinosaur. Then they end up in like this. I think it's in a studio, not a studio, like a theater, like a movie theater. So like projectors and stuff. And there's a confrontation there. Batman confronts Paige, and there's this bit where now he trips up, and what happens again? Maybe it reminds me. It's like film gets ignited or something.
Well, first, yeah, she's dressed in all black, and she's like, "This is
it's the Day of the Dead."
Day of the Dead. It's just like that is not how that works. She has like a big scythe.
We all know. Yeah, we all know the Day of the Dead. Like they wear they have no color, very dark, all black.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it's also winter, I guess, if the other ones were the other season. So I don't know. She just is just like, I'm gonna kill you. The people she's kidnapped, and then
she's dressed up as like the Grim Reaper, and it's like, what season's that? And she's like, it's the season of shut the fuck up. I just want to dress up as the Grim Reaper. I don't know.
Yeah. So Batman. There's something happens that causes the projector to catch fire, and then like you see it burning slowly as the fight's happening. Batman just for some reason like gets his ankle caught in something and just falls on his ass. He was very out of character, but he falls in front of the projection, like the screen that the image is being shown to, and it's an image of her when she was a model, and then you see her like about to do the finishing blow or whatever, and then the image starts burning up, like it shreds out in the center, and then she gets distracted seeing her own image burning up, and then she just kind of just like and then Batman. I think she starts to have like some sort of internal thing of just like no, and then Batman just fucking tackles her. And
that's kind of this is kind of this show in a nutshell, really.
Yeah.
Like
it's about to do something like introspective, like actually explain like what her deal is, and then he tackles her, and then it just cuts to like outside the building where she's arrested, and she doesn't get any more actual explanation. Like they just kind of like, that's another job well done by Batman, and she gets locked up.
She gets a little bit more. They take the mask off, and she looks fine. And Barbara's like, oh, we've seen this before. Like, oh, she's beautiful, and it was like all in her mind. It's like this poor woman, like she's got like serious issues, and just when she's about to figure it out by herself, like Batman just fucking tackles her. And then Britain here, like, lets her get hauled off to Arkham screaming. You know, she's got serious mental problems, and Batman's just like, yeah, it sucks to be you, I guess. And she's like, well, another job done for Batman.
And it
like,
just ends.
Damn it.
It was...
ending annoyed me. I feel like the old show wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, like, there was definitely something that you could have done there to, like, talk about this. I mean, they kind of cover that in, Dark Knight Returns with Two-Face. Like, like they could have done something with that, but no, it just ends, like, right before it's about to have a moment, because they wasted too much time with the subplot about Bernie getting fired, and the henchmen yelling at the people that they kidnapped, that they couldn't
I want to do my own cut of the Dark Knight, where he goes... Batman doesn't even say, like, let the boy go, Harvey. Like, he just arrives and just immediately tackles him and tackles him to his death. Like, oh well. Like, Gordon's just like, when you try talking to him, it's like, no. I got him. So... Do you want to take the blame for this? No. No, he did this. He's a criminal. He's the villain that this city deserves.
So yeah, didn't care much about that episode.
No.
That took a really bland episode and then made it kind of like, wow, you really fumbled the ball on this one. You actually nearly had something and then you just threw it away. And it's service of just like, this lady she got fired because she got old. And again, yeah, it's like...
I mean, not even old, she's like 30.
Right, yeah. She was, quote, too old, you know? But, and then that's, the thing, it was like, oh, Bernie was going to have to lose his job because he was too old, and then Bruce is just like, no, I'm shredding that policy, you get to keep your job. It's like, yay!
You get to stay in the Buster.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was like they had ideas, and then before they could fully realize them, they just threw them away, and we're just like, fuck it. Batman defeats the villain, the end. Very
Still don't think that's quite D, though.
Yeah.
It's close. It's too entertaining for... I don't know, like, looking back on it, like the fight with the dinosaur, she had... I don't know. I don't know why I'm defending it. That ending.
The dinosaur fight is weird because it was entertaining on itself, but it felt really disconnected from what was actually going on.
Yeah, what's it got to do with
episode.
calendars?
Yeah, it was just like, they were in a movie set, so they had this idea. But, the season of the dinosaur.
Maybe it is D, I don't know.
I think, because I don't remember anything else about the episode other than just, like, these themes that they wasted and this villain that was just not interesting.
I think the villain could have been interesting, but that ending just kind of sat... Just because she had this, like, Yeah, the idea's there, it's just the execution.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's just... It's a lot of ideas, and then I wish they were done better, but they weren't. And
yeah,
I don't remember the episode having anything interesting other than just a cool fight, which, you know, I appreciate a cool fight, but that is not enough for me, you know?
Alright.
I mean, it's either way. Just
Whatever.
whatever.
Yeah, I think that it probably would have been a C if it wasn't for that ending, which really just reminded me they do not do villain redemption arcs anymore.
I think yeah, it's disappointment. I think disappointment is a big factor in some of the episodes of this show.
Yeah.
All right,
Next one.
next one.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, the demon within. Well, whenever they do demon in the title, usually refers to Ra's al Ghul, right?
I wish. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what this is. This is an episode about.
It's a more literal demon.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell us about this one?
Oh god, they are at some sort of auction for like old timey artifacts. It's they being Bruce and Tim. They're attending this auction, and Tim notices there's another kid there. He's like, "Oh, cool, someone to talk to," because this is boring. And it is this kid with devil horns, which kind of looks like me when I get out of bed in the morning. Like, but this kid did not have a shower. And he has a cat, and he's like, "Oh, they dragged you to this too." And he's like, "I beg your pardon." And he's like, "Oh, you got the kitty cat to keep you company, and it's a bad cat because it goes meow and scratches at him." He's like, "Ah, don't do that."
Evil
So
Garfield.
and then evil Garfield, yeah, not to be confused with Firefly.
Oh, jeez.
Now there's a team up. Bruce meets up with his old friend Jason Blood. We know Jason Blood, don't we? We've watched every single episode. We know Jason. You remember Jason, right? And the
Who's
from Riddler's blood.
from what now? Sorry.
Well, we watched every episode of Batman. We remember Jason Blood, right? I mean, he's known Bruce for years. Yeah, yeah. Good old Jason Blood, voiced by
Sure.
voiced by Billy Zane from Titanic. No, we have no idea who this guy is. But apparently they're old friends. They start. I almost said betting. They start bidding for this fucking MacGuffin. What even is it again? It's like crystals? I can't even remember.
It's like a staff or like a wand or
a
something.
staff or something. Yeah, some bullshit. And
Well,
they're
it's a brand. That's right. It's a brand because
a brand. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's some MacGuffin.
Yeah.
They start bidding for it. Him and this kid, and then it gets out of Jason Blood's price range. But Bruce is a billionaire, so he chimes in and helps his old friend Jason Blood by getting this brand. Thanks, Bruce, he says.
It's a bidding war between those two and the kid, who really want this brand for some reason.
Yeah. And then, oh my god, this is going to start falling apart now because I just cannot remember the sequence of events. But basically,
I believe
the kid steals it. He sends his cat to steal it. The cat is actually some sort of weird owl monster. That don't look like a cat to me, but I don't know. It's more like an owl.
It looks. I mean, it looks like a creature from fucking Tiger. I think that's.
Yeah.
But
it's one of the professor's new experiments.
Yeah. So, Cat Selena.
Evil Garfield.
Yeah, Evil Garfield. Just shows up.
So he won the bidding war, but it doesn't matter. He just stole it anyway. So the kid has the branding iron. Go to Jason Blood's apartment, and it's revealed that he's like. They basically say, "Oh, King Arthur had a demon in his allegiance," and then they turn the statue around, and it's got Jason Blood's face. So it's a demon, the Etrigan on one side, and then on the other side, it's Jason Blood. And Tim's like, "Hey, this looks like you." And it turns out the demon is living inside him, and he can bring it out by saying, what was it, demon? He speaks in rhymes. It's pretty annoying. Demon, go away. Etrigan could say to come out to play. I don't know. So so this kid uses the branding iron, and then this is where it gets it kind of gets like, I've seen this before. He uses the branding iron to like magically brand an M on Jason Blood's forehead, and I'm like, I've seen this before. This is fucking this is the Majin Buu saga from Dragon Ball. Like, not just like, it's not just visual. It's not just like, oh, they both have an M on their head. It's not like Dragon Ball has a copyright on that. But no, very specifically, a fucking wizard in a remote location is watching them through a crystal ball and uses this thing to magically embed an M on a character's forehead, and that gives them control over the character, unlocks their evil, subservient powers. It's the Majin Buu saga.
Right.
Like, it's almost identical. I just can't get over that. Dragon Ball predated it by a few years. I don't know if that's like a wider fantasy thing. I don't know if there's like a thing in mythology somewhere where you get an M branded on your head to be mind controlled. Because outside of Dragon Ball, I have never seen that before. But anyway, well, I don't. Yeah, so I don't know if that's like these two things are just referencing something that I'm not familiar with, but it's a hell of a coincidence. Anyway, so this kid, he gets control of the demon within Jason Blood, and they actually get separated. Pretty weird way to. I've just realised that's kind of a weird way to introduce Etrigan, because he spends most of the episode under mind control. This is a really dumb comparison, but like Hawkeye in the first Avengers movie spends most of that's our introduction to him, and he spends most of it being mind controlled by the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of weird. But I guess more importantly than the actual ins and outs of this plot, magic in Batman.
Yeah.
Like, with this just hard magic. Wrote down the only thing prior to this was the mummy at the very tail end of one of the Ra's al Ghul episodes, and even that kind of felt like a special deal. You know, kind of like, you know, the only magic in an Indiana Jones movie is at the very end, so it's not like the whole thing isn't like supernatural, but you know, they just a little bit at the end. This is just straight up fucking like fantasy bullshit. Like, there was just constant spells being cast, and the main villain's a stupid goddamn kid.
Yeah, so like the kid's running around just forcing the Etrigan to just do stuff for him, and he's just like, "Give me ice cream."
It's petty shit as well. Yeah.
You see him eating cake, and he's, "Give me ice cream," and just being a fucking dummy. And then Batman confronts them. Oh yeah, the first thing that happens is that Batman is just like, "Hey, you need to go to bed," and then this kid's like, "No, eat impalement death," and then spikes start forming on top of him, which I don't understand what it was doing, because it looks like just parts of him were turning into spikes, but it was definitely painful. And
Jason Blood is helping remotely through the crystal ball, so he just does a counter spell. So I fucking hate magic.
Yeah. It's like he's getting older. Like Jason's starting to rapidly age without the demon, and so like, and then Tim is there, like, just kind of watching this happen. And then you're just like, well, what the fuck is Batman gonna do other than just get the branding iron? And that's what ends up happening. There's like a lot of fucking magic shit happening, and then
that's the big thing. Like, this is all matter of fact for Batman. Like, that's the thing. This is not introducing magic to Batman's world. This is introducing it to the audience, because Batman's just like, yeah, this is magic. Like, he's not reacting to this first time. I wrote down, like, yeah, we never see Bruce's first exposure to real magic. Which would have been interesting. It would have been interesting seeing him react to this, like, oh, I didn't know this was real. But he's just like, yeah, of course magic's real. And like, Tim's the idiot. Like, oh, Tim, you know nothing about the way magic works.
I fucking love the bit where, like, so the kid sends Etrigan after Jason, and Jason's like, oh, we gotta do something to protect ourselves. Tim, go get this powder off the shelf over there. And Tim's like, what good is that gonna do? And it's like, you fuck.
That's one of my favorite notes from you. Like, what good did that do? It's magic, you fucking...
What the fuck do you think?
it's magic. Like, what are you fucking questioning
Like,
it?
after everything he's seen, he's just like, well, powder? That's stupid. Like, shut up. So, hey, like...
I guess the biggest problem is, like, this is not a slow burn into the world of magic. This is going from naught... Like, other than that one mummy, this is going from, like, 0 to 100. Like, this is just hitting a brick wall of magic, like, damn.
There's, like, straight up, like, the kid throws, like, a spirit bomb, like a small spirit bomb attack. And it's like, it just straight up just looked like a DBZ fight. And, Batman gets the branding iron, he just, like...
Yes, he does.
Grapples it, and then, I don't fucking remember. I remember the Jason Blood merges with Etrigan, and he becomes back to normal, and he's like, what are you gonna do to him? He's like, I'm gonna send him to his room, and then he puts him in the fucking... hyperbolic time chamber or something.
Probably, yeah.
And
Probably would have called her that as well if the legal department were just like, no, you've done too much now. It's getting too obvious.
And, yeah, that's fucking it. By virtue of it just being mostly magic bullshit, this episode sucks. Like... We have very little tolerance. This is reminding me why Batman's, like probably my favorite superhero, because, you know, he has real-world limitations. Yeah.
And, you know, he's like, it's usually like the underdog because he doesn't have powers. I mean, I'm not against that. I'm actually quite a big fan of Superman as well. But, yeah, one thing I just don't like is magic, because you can just say anything and it will be justified in the plot. Like, you make up anything. And you can sort of say that for sci-fi, oh, he's got this gadget that will do this or something. But, like, magic just annoys me. And, yeah, this episode is all that. If you're like us and don't have much of a tolerance for magic bullshit, then you're not gonna like this. Probably somebody likes this, but...
It's so annoying, the bit where he shows up and he's just like, oh, spikes, and then Jason's like, anti-magic, and it's like, like, it's just stuff. It's just...
Yeah, and Batman's like, he's useless here. It's like, thank God he had an easily grabbable MacGuffin.
Yeah.
What else is he gonna do? He can't do a damn thing. Like, this dumbass kid is just making him make Batman look like a complete jobber.
And then it's just like, well, why doesn't Jason Blood help out more often if he's got all these amazing magical powers? Like, whatever.
And the kid's just doing petty shit. like Clock King Jr. It's like, it's also, it kind of also reminds me of Clock King, because he got like time stop powers. He's like, oh, I've got the power of a god, and I'm just going to use it to be petty. And this kid's like, oh, I'm going to use this to steal ice cream. It's like, twat.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You know, I can go next to Tiger, because it reminded me of that, with the fucking cat.
It's not Baby Mad. But...
No. It was a waste of time, but a particularly annoying one.
Yeah.
Not episode 11?
Yep.
Over the edge.
I'm gonna go over the edge.
We're gonna... This show is over the edge. I don't...
Jumping the shark.
I mean, a little bit. I mean, this episode opens up with the police firing on Batman inside the Batcave. Exclaiming, get back here, Bruce Wayne. So,
Whoops, they don't know who Batman is. They've really... The animation department screwed up there. Whoops. No.
The writers forgot. They forgot that the
Paul
police...
really just forgot. Like, Paul, the police don't know who Batman is. And they're friends with him. Like, oh, damn, I forgot. And I've got this episode in production already. Damn. No, what's going on here?
They really fucked this one up. So, yeah, there's it starts immediately with all the action, with the police trying to apprehend the Bat family inside the cave. The Batman uses the giant penny, which is fun.
Yeah.
Hey,
I just mentioned that.
Batmobile gets blown up. A lot of CG in this episode as well, which is interesting. They definitely
look like the Sub-Zero movie.
Yeah. They definitely put some money into this one, which is curious. I wonder if it's going to end up being worth it. So, they all get out, except Alfred gets
Imagine if they got like the 18 to animate Cat Scratch Fever. Like, how different would that have been?
been a scene.
We've got to bring out the movie production team for this one. With Dr. Milo, we want UCG to model Dr. Milo's hair. Right, come on, let's carry on.
So yeah, they get out by sea. Except Alfred gets apprehended, and they're off in like a cave or something, just offshore, like an alcove, and they're just like, "Where did
Temporary
it all?"
back cave.
Yeah, where did it all go wrong? And they're flashing back to what caused this whole event to start, and the Batgirl.
I just realized we have a flashback within the sequence of events. I just realized.
Yeah.
Carry on.
It's interesting. But yeah, it's like Batman and Batgirl are chasing after Scarecrow. She chases him up to the roof. Then she sees. She sees him and she tackles him, and you kind of know just based on the way it looks. It's like, oh, he put his coat on a fucking antenna, so they did that old trick.
Yeah.
And she tries tackling him, and then she just goes over the edge, or I think she gets pushed off or something. But
Yeah, I think he like whacks her in the face with his stick.
yeah. She doesn't just accidentally fall off and fall to her death. But
And then she sort of like staggers there for a second, then falls backwards. It's quite a good scene, yeah.
yeah. So she falls off, and she hits the cement and fucking dies.
No, she lands on the hood of
Oh,
her dad's
yeah.
car.
That's right. Yeah. And so he's distraught. He's like, oh god, it's
He's all upset
Batgirl.
about that.
And then he unmasks her, and it's Barbara.
Oh, that's much worse.
That's a bit worse, actually. Batman is there, and then he's just like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And we're just like, "I don't know if he knew." Like,
At the time, we didn't know.
yeah, it's like,
We're not quite. Yeah, they're hanging out, but we still haven't seen how we got to that point. But anyway,
yeah, she is just dead, like just actually dead, and so
Batgirl died for realsies.
for real this time. So, then I guess yeah, it goes back to they of course chase him down, and
Yeah, I believe Gordon says, "Oh yeah, like 5 minutes on Barbara's computer, and I figured out who you were."
that's right. Yeah, they're all like mourning at the Wayne Manor, and then he gets the phone call, and it's like Gordon's just like you son of a bitch, which literally
Yeah, he's like,
says,
"Oh,
yes.
I'm just your friendly neighborhood Bruce Wayne. I don't know what you're talking about." It's like, cut the fucking out, bastard.
Drop the act. I know everything. I looked on Barbara's computer. We're coming.
No,
there.
I'm. All right, you got me. I am the meddler.
So, and then yeah, that gets back to where the episode started. So that goes back to the end of the flashback, and they're like, "Fuck, okay," because Nightwing's there as well, and he's just like, "Well, I'm gonna go back to my garage and get some things, and we're just gonna get out of here." And they're like, "That's a bad idea," and he's like, "Don't worry, I got this." And so he enters his garage through like the roof, and all the lights are off. And then as soon as he lands, the lights come on and the police are surrounding him. We're just like, Dick, for God's sake. Again.
Yeah, you were Bruce Wayne's ward. Like, we're not that stupid.
So I believe he gets apprehended. And
Yeah.
then there's just this scene that takes place.
We're kind of very serious episode, but there's a little comedic scene in the middle there.
Yeah, it just cuts to like a bunch of the villains on a talk show
like
or
a-
something? Or
Yeah, talk show, like talking points.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
like, they were very upset.
yeah,
Like, oh, now we know who Batman is.
It's Harley, Mad Hatter,
Some leprechaun character.
Some-
Oh, that's Mad Hatter. Okay.
some leprechaun, a guy in just a bright ass
Another
green suit.
leprechaun.
Yeah, taller leprechaun, big leprechaun, and it's ventriloquist.
Hey.
So, I mean,
Well,
if you couldn't tell, this
you
is
were gonna
not.
say you were gonna say yeah.
If you couldn't tell, this is not actually happening. So, ventriloquist is here,
What?
but it's like,
No.
yeah, Batgirl's dead for the rest of the series now. But yeah, there's just this bit where they're just kind of goofing off on this show, and then a we didn't mention it, but fucking
Well, this is the point where we were just like, oh, this isn't real, and we realized that not because of Batgirl dying, we were just like, Scarface is reformed, so this couldn't be real.
yeah.
Mr. Scarface died. We saw it happen, so how could he be on the talk show? This is clearly a dream.
There's a second appearance of a Johnny Cochran, I believe was the name.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah, that's a reoccurring character.
he was in Joker's Millions. He made a brief appearance. This very similar looking no-name character, and it's just like, why do they keep making references to that? Why does that keep happening? Okay.
And we only know it's supposed to be him because he did some rhyming thing, you know, like
Yeah,
if the glove
yeah.
doesn't fit, then you must have quit or whatever.
Yeah.
So if the cowl doesn't, well, I don't know.
Something
I'm not good
like
at rhyming. I'm not Etrigan.
So that just happens, and then, oh, I believe this is where Gordon shows up at Bane's cell, and he's like,
I want to so I think we're gonna skip. We'll talk about Mad Catter later.
yeah.
Riddler. Well, this is about as much. Well, yeah, it's about as much as he's going to appear.
Yeah,
I'm going
actually,
to hold off talking about him, but
yeah, this is kind of
that's
it.
that's it. That's Riddler for you.
Uh,
He has like two. He has two more spoken appearances after this, but not much.
yeah,
And he's like wearing the old like cat suit thing, and you can't tell from here, but he's bald with a bowler cap. I'm not like offended by this design. It's very different. I definitely think it's a downgrade. I miss the suit. He just kind of looks weird. I don't know. But we don't really know anything about this version of Riddler. Like we don't really get a sense of his personality at all because he's not in it enough.
yeah.
So I don't know what you think of it.
I kind of hate it, but I don't. He's not in it enough for me to care.
Yeah. It makes me wonder why they even bothered.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
John Glover's like credited, like got him back for like his 4 lines in the whole show.
yeah,
Even this one, like, it's one appearance here. He's speaking like over Scarface, so it's not even like just his line. Like, yeah,
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
but yeah, and Mad Hatter we'll get back to him when it's actually his time to shine.
Yeah, he's got an episode. But yeah, Gordon shows up where Bane is, and Bane's got a redesign. He looks good.
Yeah,
He looks fine. I don't really have any notes.
intimidating as fuck.
Yeah, it's Bane. He looks cool.
It definitely looks less goofy.
Yeah. I think this is more an improvement over his other appearance where...
Maybe trying a bit too hard. I think the spike collar's a bit much, but
You know what? I appreciate it because he's just good in this episode. Honestly.
yes, his personality. Well, anyway, let's carry on. We'll talk about Bane.
So yeah, Gordon's just like, hey, I need you to get rid of Batman, or kill that guy. Bane's just like, all right, if you want to throw your life away on this, then sure. And Gordon's just like, yeah, it's.
Oh yeah, I think they said no. Gordon's gonna get like fired because he condoned Batman for years. I think.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I'm losing my job anyway. This is my last. While I still have some power, I want to get you out of here, and I want to make a deal with you. I want you to get the son of a bitch that did this to my daughter.
Yeah.
So Batman's like, it's Barbara's funeral, and Gordon uses it as a trap. Batman's surveying from a rooftop. Even though it's his daughter's funeral, like Gordon's got a radio in his hand, he's clearly preoccupied. I think like someone that says to him like, "Come on, it's Barbara's funeral." He's just like, "No, I'm gonna get this guy."
Yeah.
There's like snipers on all of the roofs, and they're like, "Oh, I've spotted Batman!" And Gordon's like, "Open fire, open fire!" And he starts running down the street to catch up. Batman jumps over some rooftops, and then he goes to go through some fire escape, the door is like kicked through the other side. He's knocked down, and here's Bane. And we hadn't seen him up to this point. This is Bane's new design, and it's very intimidating. And his personality is just really on point here, like more so than his first appearance. I mean, his personality wasn't really the issue in the first appearance, but just like, oh, it's Bane, and he's like, oh, I'm pleased you remember me, Mr. Wayne. Like he's refreshing because he's like this massive like strength character, but he's still very articulate. Like I think that's what I appreciate.
He's a little snarkier in this one.
Down.
He's got some
yeah, quite snarky. His writing is better. He sounds. I remember in his first appearance he had some kind of goofy lines, whereas here he sounds a lot more natural.
Yeah. He restrains.
He's like, I will. Before he's like, I will do battle with the Batman, and then I will lure him here, and it's just like he kind of talked like a robot before, whereas here it's the same voice, by the way.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh yeah, I'm pleased you remember me, Mr. Wayne, and then he has this absolute killer line. He starts wrestling him, and then he just says to him, "What can I expect from a killer of children?" Like, holy shit, that line! Like, my god.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of witchcraft he had over the censors, but that is such a. I mean, that's a badass line.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's cool and none of that. Help me! So
he manages to refrain from mentioning breaking Batman's back this entire episode. I'm proud of him.
I think I probably went on a bit too much about that, but yeah.
They're having a fight, and then God, I don't remember what exactly happens, but I know Gordon is there, and then he gets betrayed by Bane. And Gordon's like, "We had a deal," and Bane's just like,
"So yeah, Bane's gonna so Batman kind of goes all out to fight Bane. Like you can see he's trying his best. He says, he says something along the lines of like nothing even matters anymore. He does this weird trick where he catches a bunch of rocks in his cape and then uses it to club Bane. Anyway, Bane gets the upper hand, and then Gordon's got a gunpoint, and Bane's like, "Oh, I want to finish him slowly," and Gordon's like, "No, he's going to Arkham, and he's going to serve with all the crazy people he's created." And Bane has another good line. He's like, "Cool, well, that's poetic, but no." Was pointing? He is large and pointing. So trying to remember, they get into a fight, and I just remember. Maybe if you want to help again.
I just remember that, I think, both Gordon and Batman are about to fall to their deaths, I believe. And that's the part where he's like, "We had a deal," and I think Bane says some really great line. I don't remember the exact...
thought about it. Didn't work for me.
Yeah. Just a really great delivery. I love that. And then I believe they just, like, fall, and they're going to fall to death, and then...
Yeah, there's a bit they're hanging off, like Batman's like holding on to Gordon, and he's just like, don't do it. Think about do it for Barbara. So they kind of reconcile somewhat, because he's trying to save him. And then this is Bane's really on fire, and there's just this one scene. He picks up the bat signal, which Gordon earlier used to blind Batman, like OP survivor item. And he lifts the whole bat signal and kind of rolls it towards him. I don't know if that's poetic in some form or ironic, but it's a good moment because he's already been defeated, and he just has his last ounce of strength to just pick up the bat signal and roll it towards him. It's rolling towards him. They get knocked off the edge, and then like sort of fades to white. And then what?
And then Barbara wakes up because
she was dead.
Because she wakes up from dead. No, she wakes up in the Batcave. And
she starts screaming, "No! Ventriloquist was informed! No!"
So she wakes up, and then she's like in a medical bed essentially, and it's clear that
in the Batcave.
In the Batcave, yeah, she had been knocked out, and then She was like, no, I had this dream. Everyone was dying.
She was gassed with the fear gas,
They
so that's what
explain.
caused it.
Yeah, explains like because it was
Not on the
Scarecrow.
fearlessness gas. It was the fearlessness gas. Her dream would have been about her being like fucking Supergirl or something, just saving everyone. I don't know.
Oh god. No, she's
Yeah,
just like, she's like, what happened? And they're just like, well, you get hit by some of that Scarecrow gas, and so like up at the top of that building. So whenever she thought she had fallen, she had actually been knocked out, and so she was just having this dream. And so it cuts to the final scene is her basically being like, I can't keep going on like this without my dad knowing about this. And so she goes to tell him, and they just have like a really good heart-to-heart where he's like, you can't tell me about, like, I don't need to know, but I approve of whatever it is. And implies that, like, he may actually know, he may actually understand what she's saying, but he doesn't want to.
It's like, honey, your hair's sticking out of your costume.
Like, it is very obvious. But he's just like, I can't acknowledge it, but I approve of it, and which was a really, really good scene. And that's how the episode ends.
Yeah.
So probably is one of the best
Probably
episodes.
the best of all of these.
Yeah. And the only downside to it is really just that it was a dream, and it's like, you know that going into it, because like from the beginning it's like, this literally cannot be canon, but like
that's probably why they opened on the most shocking like image of the cops in the Batcave, just to make it really obvious. Like, hey, come on, it's like we know you know.
Yeah.
Let's just have some fun with this.
This is a what if story, and it's honestly just really good. I have very little criticism. The jokey bit was kind of weird, but I felt like they kind of thought they needed
And a bit
to.
levity in the middle.
Yeah, they were a little too heavy for this show, so they're like, let's put in a little silly bit. But other than that, no, it was just really good. So this goes.
You think that might? Do you think there's any chance of that being ass? I really do like it.
Yeah.
I think I probably prefer that to Silicon Soul, actually.
I think so. Actually, yeah.
I might be being too pushy here, but the more I think about it, it is really good.
We don't have enough S tiers in either of these shows.
I mean, I don't want to like arbitrarily just put them in just to pad that out. You know what I mean? But like, I'd say that's better than like Two-Face, and I really like the Two-Face episode. But I mean, yeah, it is a what if, but it's a really good what if.
I think it's just weird because the top two episodes, I think, are ones that impressed me, and then these other three are insanely good, but they didn't do anything like insane, you know?
Yeah, but we've got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, like, it's just like,
no, we can't just have Peter Clay, Great Ghost, and just S plus. Like, I'm not doing that.
No, but they are. Yeah, it's like it's they set a very high bar, but these are still very, very good. Like, just super good all around. They have very little complaints about any of them.
Yeah.
So no, that's fine. I think that is good enough to be there. Absolutely.